Forgot how my camera works.
Does it work? I'm here. Hello.
Hey, it's Leisure the Great. Look, everybody. It's a Leisure.
Hello. Ooh.
It's good to see your face, dude. Good to hang out with you. We haven't hung out in a minute.
But you know what it is? You stream at 2 a.m. in the morning, and that's mostly my chill time. And then I do watch, but then sometimes I just fall asleep while watching.
Right.
You just have that soothing voice,
I
you
know. I know. So sorry, man. Did you delete Facebook?
I'm still there. I just have a different name. I just don't want to be associated with Facebook anymore. It's like some.
Yeah, I just stopped logging in, but I went to find you the other day, and I couldn't. Like, where?
Yeah, I'm called
is
Ludwig now.
Okay.
It's after one of my D&D characters.
I was like, I can't find him. Where's he at? But okay.
Whoa.
So, Leisure, man, what's been going? Oh, you're on hiatus from streaming. You were talking about that, talking about getting into a new home, leaving the house for autistics.
Well, it's called protective living, sort of.
Okay, so it's a social program in Holland.
It's a social program for people with autism, and so basically what they do is they put a couple of people in a house, but the whole idea about it is that you learn how to live together and blah blah blah. Like, we're high functioning autists, so we are pretty high in the spectrum. Like, we're like, oh, we can do stuff ourselves and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I have one person here who is a little bit worse.
Right, gotcha.
But they thought it was a smart idea to put her with us so that she could learn from us. But I can't see progression. But that's my opinion.
How to function? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. It's like if you gotta live there to know what's really going on.
Okay.
Something stupid.
All right.
Yeah, so basically you live here for a couple of years and then you go to a so-called I think the literal translation is flow out. You flow out, so you basically go out and then you basically get a house of your own.
Okay, cool.
And then you still get a year of counseling once a week. So they come to your house, help you with taxes and blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. And then after that, the house is yours.
Neat. No, it's cool that there's a program like that for you, though.
Yeah. If I wanted to get a house myself, I would probably be still living with my parents.
Yeah.
And Amsterdam is expensive. Don't try to live here if you're not an expat or.
Well, I think that's everywhere though. Everywhere is really expensive, to be honest with you.
The thing is, it's like $600 per month. That's the minimum you can pay. 600 euros. That's the minimum in Amsterdam.
That's about what it's getting like here. Yeah. I live in one of the states with the lowest cost of living. And it's still like rent for like a little simple apartment is like usually around $600. Yeah, US dollars. It's
let me open your screen, by the
getting that way everywhere.
Yeah, it's going up as well, but it's going down as well in Amsterdam right now because of the corona crisis. A lot of expats aren't living here at the moment, so the prices have gone down like 0.3%, but it's still 0.3%.
I think in the US they have programs like that, but it's based on state by state, and it's usually
that's the thing that always annoyed me about things in America is like all states have their own laws and all this and that. It's like it's more like a union of states than really. Yeah, well, it is. United States.
Oh, yeah. What was it?
We had the barbecue potatoes that we had with
1,200.
that
Oh, I definitely want one, but not right now.
I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator since
Okay.
I might have it.
What, here the minimum is $1,000. You're lucky at most $1,200.
Well, we also have like extra help and such. If you have low income, you get like called? Subsidized. You
Yeah,
get,
yeah.
subsidiaries.
So for rent, friendly for rent. Yeah, that's a really high cost of living, Mason. If you don't mind me asking, Mason, what state are you in? Because I think that deals a lot with it. Or what country you're in, what state you're in. You're in Washington. Yeah, it's really high in Washington. Wow.
Oof. Washington, D.C. or the normal Washington?
No, the Washington State. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. District Columbia. I know my stuff.
He does. You know your stuff, and one of the reasons I wanted to ask you on is because you are you do know a lot about American politics, American
I
cinema.
try to stay out of it nowadays,
right?
Because it's a very hot topic, and I'm very neutral in my way of viewing things. So sometimes it comes over bad for the one side and bad for the other side. And I try to really stay out of it nowadays because I got so depressed at one point. I've been on both sides of the spectrum,
right.
And I've realized that they're both assholes.
Yeah, it's true. It's really, really true. It's so breaking. How does in a European country, you got your own set of politics and your own set of laws.
We got libertarians, socialists. We got all that kind of green.
Yeah. How does American politics affect you in Holland?
Well, the whole thing that happened a couple of weeks ago, due to what happened with you guys with the riots and all that.
Yeah.
That's been very living here all of a sudden. I'm like, people, we have Corona right now. 500,000 people died.
Right.
I'm like, I get that it's an issue, but we got another issue to fight first before we can fight another issue.
So you're having a Black Lives Movement in
I'm not saying it's a wrong thing to do. It's just that it's just annoying that you have one. That this is my autistic brain working right now.
Right.
It's like you have Corona killing. I don't know how many people right now. 600,000,
right.
400,000, 500,000, something like that. I kept statistics. I was reading the statistics, and Jesus.
Yeah, it's a hard time we're living in. But that affected you in Amsterdam?
This is the reason why I went off Facebook.
Wow.
I posted something on Facebook, and I'm like, go ahead, do your thing, be whatever you want to be. But I will still joke about stuff,
Right.
The thing that this is the.
See, well, you always view like some of our American mistakes as being a young country and how the country was founded as our problem. And when you talk about like racial brutality within American police force, you don't think that it would be reaching into Europe, or it's interesting how that affects the rest of the world.
My personal opinion is I'm not even going to throw them out there, because that is just going to hurt a lot of people, and you don't want that. But the thing that I have realized, it's a problem, yes, but it's against everyone. It's police brutality against everyone. Okay, yes, there is social profiling and that kind of stuff, and I get it, but as I said, there is another problem right now. We have to fix that first before we can start with a new problem.
I feel you. And I'm not going to stick on this too long or put you on the spot for too long, but I think the mentality here is.
American politics. Gotta be honest, American politics. It's very you got two sides. You got Democrats and Republicans, right? And we have like a whole spectrum. We've got populists, we got socialists, we got Greens, we got Christian Democrats, we got a whole list of people, and we got liberals.
Yeah, the problem
I'm sitting here like we're getting problems with that as well, because everybody's just talking to each other and blah blah blah. And I've realized I'm just not gonna bother with it anymore because they don't listen anyways.
Right. Yeah, a lot of the problem in America right now with the two-party system is that you have extreme left, extreme right. almost to the
no
point
center.
of
There is no center.
almost to the point of radicalization. And I think a lot of the majority of people want to be in the center. They want to be in the gray area, but there's not your candidates and stuff aren't there. They're not moderate.
In a way, American politics is actually not democratic.
Right.
It's two-sided, and I know they would probably not have socialists in there because
No, Bernie Sanders
War and
just
everything.
yeah. Bernie Sanders
I
is
get
the
that
closest
because
we
the things
got.
that the communists did weren't very nice,
Right.
even though that some people try to glorify it. But hey ho.
No.
But I get it. But in another way, it's like I like America is special in its own way, and like it still has a lot of Europe in there because it still has a lot of Europe in there.
We're a melting
But
pot
then you
from
have
Europe.
Europe
Yeah.
itself. It's like you get to Europe and you're like, oh, everything is different here, but every country has its own system, and they're all fighting each other and calling each other names and such. Because the Netherlands was also with the Corona stuff.
Yeah.
The Netherlands didn't want to do a payment thing for the Corona relief help or something. They wanted everyone to pay for themselves.
They didn't want to compensate or
Yeah,
help
because
bail out.
they were always giving money to each other in Europe, and it's
Right.
like you pay like what for a couple million to stay in the European Union for one day.
Yeah. I think that's
It's really weird.
one of the big reasons why the UK getting out. You know, like
We have a party in the Netherlands that wants out.
so.
The two actually.
It's interesting to see that because how long has the European Union been a thing?
European Union has been a thing since after World War II.
Okay. Wow.
It became a real complete thing after the Americans left Europe, so to say. Well, they're still here, but we don't talk about that.
No, you're absolutely right. Americans have become. This is another point of contention for me. The world police. You know, the United States military.
It sort of
is
has
the
actually
world
because
police.
NATO isn't doing. NATO is been made by Americans, and before that you had the League of Nations, which
Right.
didn't work.
Right.
Well, NATO doesn't really. It
doesn't
works
really
a little
work
bit,
either.
but the three big countries can go. I veto that. No, I don't want that. No, that's what
Yeah.
they do, and yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it's like you get over here. It's like sometimes you're like, oh, it's a different world, but it's still the same. But it always reminds me of the song by Rammstein, "America." We're all living in America. In a way, we are because before the 50s, we didn't have your music.
Is Leisure Dutch? Yes.
No, I'm not Dutch.
You're not
I don't
Dutch?
speak like them.
Then is Holland not Dutch? Then what do you consider?
Yeah, Holland is basically two provinces in the Netherlands.
Okay.
So if you go back far enough into the Middle Ages, you get all our provinces basically was a state of its own in those days, but then it became the United Netherlands.
Okay.
And now it's the Netherlands.
See, I'm being educated because I thought Holland was Dutch, and that was
You got North Holland, which contains our Amsterdam, which used to be our biggest trade epicenter,
right.
and now it's Rotterdam, which is in South Holland.
Okay.
Yeah, was one of the biggest.
Jean
harbors in
said
Europe.
you do talk like a Dutch. See, Jean's is Dutch, and she recognized the accent. So
And some people tell me that I speak like an American, and some people say that I speak like a Dutch person. I really don't know how people sometimes recognize the Dutch in my voice.
It's pretty funny.
Probably the way I speak.
Probably, yeah. Because English is your second language, so your first language
I speak
is
German too,
but your first language is.
and I'm learning Russian at the moment.
Okay, what's your primary language?
Dutch,
So
Dutch,
see?
English, German, Russian, a little bit of Japanese, but
Well, then
I
you're
didn't go
Dutch.
far. I just love languages.
Okay.
It's an issue.
No, that's really cool that you learned that many, because I know two.
I know a lot of English-speaking
I know
people
one, and enough to get me by on another. We'll say that. I speak Spanish, but I don't speak Spanish well. But yeah, in America, it's like any of the English, any of the English-speaking countries, it's like, no, you're going to speak English. If you're going to communicate with us, we're very arrogant. You're going to speak English.
It's true, though. I mean, I always laugh when Americans came to the comic store I used to work in. I always laughed with them. I was like, they're like, we're very impressed that the Dutch are speaking so good. They're speaking English so well. I'm like, I don't know. It's like we got a lot of expats here, but we also have a lot of newer, younger generation of Dutch people that just speak English because it's something we need.
Right.
As a thing, you play video games, you watch movies, and I think it. Most Dutch people learn their English via subtitles.
Wow, really?
I've been teaching myself English since I was 6 because I wanted to know what was in my video games when I would play Tomorrow Never Dies.
That is awesome, though. So is English is a subject you took in school? It's something
I also got it in school, but I got like 8s and 9s for it. Basically, A's and A minuses,
okay,
so to say in the American way of
in your grading system. I got you.
Yeah,
okay.
We do 1 to 10, and then sometimes halves if there's half points, but that's stupid.
It's kind of like grading video games.
Yeah, I also had German, and I've been learning German for a while, but it's getting rusty.
Speak me some German.
Ja, eine gute Zahl. Gute Sprache.
Okay, cool.
It's a good language.
All right.
Fun.
I always, and I know this is bad to say, but when Germans and Russians speak, it sounds like they're always pissed.
Actually, Germans can speak very normal, and actually, if you hear Dutch, you would think they were freaking cursing at you. You have the Godverdomme, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like in German, if you say Godverdomme, you say Gottverdammt, which is not that it sounds a little bit aggressive, but it isn't that aggressive.
Right.
Compared to Dutch. Because Dutch is just really... The Dutch is actually like... It's a cocktail of curse words. You can go to the Netherlands and just speak in curse words and just have one word in there and they'll be like, yeah, I get what you mean.
So you were talking about wanting to learn what video games were saying to you, and that's why you took up English on your own.
Well, first I started asking my mom and my dad because they knew a little bit of English. They weren't the best. They still aren't. You should hear them speak. They're like, a good day, very good, yes, yeah. You know, that kind of stuff. It's like, it's really funny to hear. But, and then I come in and I'm like, well, what does square mean?
Right.
You know, because I had to put the cheat code into my game. So there was square, triangle.
Right.
Kind of stuff. Yeah, okay. I don't know. I just picked it up out of nowhere. I just knew English. I don't know how, but I just picked it up. It's a fairly easy language, seeing as Dutch is one of the hardest in Europe.
Right.
Next to Finnish and Russian. Russian and Finnish are the hardest.
You're saying the video games were English. How much Western influence, how much American influence is actually in Holland? Because you were saying, you know, like the Dutch band, how do you say that? Rammstein. Which is a Dutch band. I've heard them. German band. Sorry, but
the thing that I've learned over the years, because I also speak to my father about his childhood and everything.
Right.
He grew up in a time where they had to go to the neighbors to watch videos. So that was these 60s.
Okay.
He comes from 1957. We got color television and everything very late in the Netherlands. So my father used to watch it there, and then at one point they got them a set for themselves, and the only thing we had 3 broadcasting
Stations.
channels.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the one in Luxembourg was basically doing everywhere. But fun fact, side fact: the Netherlands is actually one of the biggest video countries in the world right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Like
because a
video
lot
on
of the shows
demand,
that you
or
watch.
yeah.
No. The videos that you watch, most of the like the series, like the Voice of Holland, the Voice of America, and that kind of that kind of stuff,
Uh-huh.
is mostly made by Talpa, which is a Dutch company.
Okay.
And they basically like all wipe out and all that kind of, I don't know, a lot of stuff they sell to other countries, so it looks like they made it. So it's really funny.
Oh.
It's a fun little gimmick. Do with it what you want.
But what about are there Dutch movies?
We in my childhood, we
Uh-huh.
had Cartoon Network. We because we had like a special digital channel, like or
Cable.
no, Fight a Cable was at that time. We used to have Nickelodeon, Fox Kids,
Uh-huh.
and Fox Kids used to send broadcast everything in English with Dutch subtitles, so you kind of had to learn the English.
Right.
Nowadays, later it became Dutch in during the day, and then English during the evening. And
Okay.
nowadays it's all Dutch, and I'm like, I don't want to watch this anymore. I don't like my own language in this now.
So, do you watch a lot of video on demand with English now, like Netflix, Hulu,
Right now, I do watch a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of movies and series that I'm like, nowadays, I don't know, movies don't really thingy
not
me
really
that
doing it
often
for
anymore.
you? Yeah.
No. It's like
Last
I'm watching
Jedi
one
killed
and
it for
it's
you.
CGI galore, and it's this and that, and it's politics, and I'm like, I don't care anymore. I don't
Yeah.
want to.
I kind of miss practical effects. There's some movies that you just can't redo.
I can give you a prime example of what I mean by a series plagued by politics, and that's Supergirl. I stopped watching that after 3 seasons because I just couldn't stand it anymore.
Well, I think that's its purpose, right? That's what Supergirl's
Yeah, it's kind of
designed
its
to do.
purpose, and I like Supergirl as a character and Superman and everything, but kind of doesn't really fit my superhero series, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I get you.
I just
get
want
you.
to see super villains get bashed in the face and such, not political problems.
No, I get you. Yeah. Over the past decade here, identity politics has been a huge thing in the U.S.
Mhm.
And rightfully so. I mean, everybody wants to fit in somewhere and feel like they have a voice, and that's normal. And it's probably a conversation long overdue, and I think that's why we're seeing so much of it now. But
Well,
yeah.
the thing that I have with this, like, I don't care if you're black, yellow, purple, orange. If you're a girl person, I'll hang with you.
Right.
The thing that I have with the whole thing is that some people think they're that I'm not saying that's everyone. Don't attack me on this.
Huh?
Some people just think they're very special.
Yeah, I
And
get you.
I'm like, we're all just human. We all have a beating heart, and some people just yeah.
Well, see, I think the problem is that in America, right,
Mhm.
homosexuality has not been really all that accepted until here recently.
That's the thing. Like I said, I don't care what people do as long as
Right.
I don't have to. It's not that I'm saying I don't have to see it. It's more like I don't care what you do in the bedroom.
I got you. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's more like go ahead, do your thing. You don't have to show me. Just do your thing. You know, I mean, it's the same if I see kissing man and woman on the street. I'm like, get a room. You know.
I get you. But in that part of when you're doing television series or a movie, you've got to have a reason. You've got to have a motivator, whether it be a relationship, whether it be a revenge story, whether it be, you've got to have a motivator. So I think that a lot of people don't feel represented. Like I get it.
The old days with let me just throw Aliens out there.
Okay, yeah, with Ripley,
badass woman female character.
Yes.
Nobody gave a shit. Awesome female character, but nowadays they have to be forced into the movies as if to say, "Oh, we're gonna change the gender of this character now because we don't care about the comics or whatever." You know what I mean? It's like you got one story and now they're changing. They're making a new universe with this story. And this gets very confusing for a lot of people that read comics, for example.
Right.
And I mean, I read the comics and they put politics in that too, but mostly if it's not really, like, if it's subtle, I don't care. But if it's in your face, I'm like, I don't care. It's like I was reading the Green Arrow and he was saying that kind of stuff. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to read this anymore. Rebirth is not my thing.
Right. No, I get you.
I'm not saying people should not do it. It's more like, your demographic, right? You're going for people. They're basically going for people that probably won't buy the comics.
Right.
Because I've had a lot of complaints while I was in the comic store from people like, yeah, man, look at this. I don't know, man. The story is basically just...
Yeah, I saw one of the blatant things where they, instead of like introducing a new gay character in X-Men, right? Jean Grey brainwashed Iceman, Bobby Drake, to be gay.
Mm-hmm.
And he was gay from then on. In X-Men. That is kind of forced, and that's pushing an agenda, and that's kind of weird.
If they're pushing their agendas, then I'm mostly like, I'm out. I don't. Yeah, it's like,
because
go ahead, do your thing.
Then you make it sound. But when you have that in the comic book written that way, you make it sound like homosexuality is a choice, and there's a lot of people who say that no, it's not. So.
but then again, there's things like people were bitching that Batwoman was lesbian. I'm like, she's been lesbian since she was made.
Right.
She was created lesbian. So I'm like, I'm cool with that. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
When I heard that, I was like, well.
And I'm sorry to be devil's advocate for both sides, but I think it's because I understand the arguments for both sides. Like, I understand why they want to inject this stuff in it, but I also understand why there's sort of backlash to it.
Then kind of put it on the thing, put it in a disclaimer. Tell people that you're doing this for that reason, blah, 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 blah. Don't just...
Now, I do agree with that. That would be awesome. Yeah. Yeah, kind of a little disclaimer.
There's some people, like, also, like I don't care what people believe in and whatever. So there are certain religions that don't condone this stuff,
Right.
And I don't care about religion, honestly, but I do understand. Like, if you want to include everyone, that you can never include everyone.
No.
That's the problem that I've always been faced with. You can't include everyone.
No. I mean, you've got. Again, talking about X-Men, how many mutant characters are there? You know what I mean?
A lot.
There's a lot. And it's really hard to do ensemble comics. So you eventually get to everybody, but it's in a single issue, you're not going to hit everybody. You're going to focus on the storyline of maybe 3 or 4 people.
But I know what you mean, because I read Justice League, which is basically the same thing.
Right.
And you get the main Justice League, but then you also have Justice League of America with Batman as the leader and this and that. And then they're putting but now it's about Killer Frost, or now it's about what was her name again? The one that can use the totem.
I don't know.
Yeah, I forgot her name. I was the leader of America, Batman. He'll be like, Where are they?
Speaking of which, did you hear Michael Keaton reprising his role as Batman for the upcoming Flash movie? Yeah. The upcoming Flash movie, Michael Keaton is reprising his role as Bruce Wayne / Batman.
That's pretty cool, though.
As the Flash runs, the Flash is going to have a flashpoint for the DCEU because, let's face it, it's not been going well except for a couple of movies, Aquaman and Wonder Woman.
Aquaman was great. I love that movie.
Right, but DCEU is going to kind of get a little reset, and Flash is going to have his flashpoint. And it's going to bring Michael Keaton back as Batman, picking up 30 years after Batman Returns.
I heard the Batman, the new movie that's coming out, is played by the Twilight guy.
Yeah, it's played by the Twilight guy. So how's that?
I don't know how I have to feel about that, but he probably do a good job. I'll judge it when I've seen it. Right.
So, but yeah, I'm excited about this Michael Keaton back as Batman thing. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. I mean, I love my DC movies. I love the Marvel movies. I didn't really like Infinity War, the last one.
Yeah.
Endgame.
You didn't like Endgame?
But that's my opinion. But everyone's entitled to their opinion.
I liked it pretty good.
It was good at the end. At the beginning with all the... I was like, nah.
Well, you're setting up, you just had a movie before.
You're setting it up, but there was already a movie before it setting it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. But, movies are expensive, especially when you throw that much CGI at the screen, right?
I never rage and rant about that kind of stuff. The thing that is, I can say a movie sucks. Fair enough. But the people that play in it, I will never berate them.
What about the follow-up, Spider-Man Far From Home?
It was enjoyable. I can say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I wouldn't say it's like the best super duper movie,
Right.
I'd rather watch Tobey Maguire do.
Really? You like the cringy Tobey Maguire?
I'm joking.
The symbiote Maguire? Oh my God. That is funny. Oh wow.
Yeah, but by the way, just a little thing. Did you hear there's going to be an Evil Dead 4?
No, I thought
with Bruce Campbell.
So is it picking up off the series, or is it picking up off of?
It's picking up on the series is part of the canon,
right?
So it's probably picking up after that or something. But I don't really know because.
So is it really Evil Dead 4, or is it going to be Evil Dead 3? Because Army of Darkness,
it's called Evil Dead. Yeah, Army of
Darkness. They don't have the rights. Yeah.
This is the problem with the Evil Deads. 1, other company. 2, other company. 3, other company. So they can't really, because they don't want to release the rights to the movies. So they can't really.
Well, I think they got the rights to Evil Dead 1 and 2, but they can't get Army of Darkness released. And so that's why when they started the series, when they started the Evil Dead series, Ash versus the Evil Dead, they kind of discounted Army of Darkness and picked up after Evil Dead.
They did kind of put it in later.
Yeah. Well, they made little nods to it.
Yeah, little nods. But the thing is, I never really counted the first Evil Dead.
Oh, really? Why?
It's
so good.
2 is basically Evil Dead but then without the 3 other people. It's weird. I don't know. It's a really weird story because he goes back to the cabin in 2, or is he still going? He's
still there because at the end of Evil Dead 1, he's he turns, and then it turns daylight again because he turned in the thing gets him at the end of Evil Dead, and then at the beginning of Evil Dead 2, he's still there, and he's kind of like the zombie thing is taking him. He's becoming one of them, but the light vanquishes it, so he doesn't fully turn, so he gets to stay human. And keep battling the Evil Dead.
Evil Ash is a real big thing in the Evil Dead universe.
Right.
He's I've got the comics, and most of them always refer to. A lot of them have him as the bad guy, Evil Ash.
Mm-hmm. Good Ash, bad Ash, good Ash, bad Ash, good, bad.
Good, bad. I'm the one with the gun.
I'm the guy with the gun.
That was my favorite quote.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, man.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell has the best one-liners, though.
And we watched a throwback to Evil Dead called Dead Snow. Was it you that turned me
was
on
a
to
very
Dead
good
Snow and Dead
homage.
Snow 2?
Yes,
Yeah.
with the
And
communist
now the
zombies.
original Dead Snow, it's not in English. It's in what language is that?
Norwegian.
Norwegian.
Yeah.
But Dead Snow 2 is in English. Right?
Most part, but also think like you could really see that they got more budget for 2.
Right.
And it was really great. I love that. That movie is just a fun blood fest to watch.
They are so funny. Like the hero guy that you think is the hero ends up not being the hero, and the Nazis swinging off of his intestines.
That was funny.
It's great. Like, oh my God. And then so you think the woman's going to be the hero. No.
Nope. It's gonna be the guy with the glasses.
It's the idiot. The idiot ends up being the hero. Like
with the arm off.
Great
that
movies.
was great.
So if you've not seen Dead Snow or Dead Snow 2,
Yeah,
me and Leisure watched them together.
It's a very good movie. It's fun to watch. Like I wouldn't say it's the best movie, but it's like a good laugh.
Yeah, when Rabbit was a thing, me and Leisure watched those together. Which I thought about doing viewing parties again on Discord, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Like the only way you can watch things on Discord is if you have it on VLC or something, or watch it via like you have the file on your computer.
No, you can monitor capture and stream to.
Yeah, but you won't hear sound from Netflix.
Oh, really?
Yes. They got like a special coding in the thing that doesn't capture sound.
Oh.
I've tried multiple times. Like I like to watch movies with people, but then what I did do with my buddy though is watch Eres Vida Da, Look Who's Back, with my speaker under my microphone.
There you go. That'll work.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. He was laughing his tits off because that movie is like a very controversial movie.
Yeah, they got rid of Rabbit. I'm kind of sad that they got rid of Rabbit.
Yeah, that was suddenly just gone out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I mean,
kind of like Dr. Disrespect Twitch. Just gone out of nowhere. Not even a word.
I have been following that, but I'm not getting information, so I'm sitting there like, why not get information?
Yeah, he did like a World Press tour yesterday or whatever, where he talked to CNN, he talked to PC Gamer, he talked to the Washington Post, and yeah.
Well,
Still
I do get
not very informative.
I do kind of get his demographic as what he said about that Twitch is kind of going on a banning spree right now.
Yeah,
they're banning a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, some for the greater good, but some people are just. I don't know. I'm not gonna complain.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still here, and I'm not gonna be. This is the funny joke. A friend of mine got banned because he was called Big DCK. Banned it. It wasn't even called Dick. They didn't give him a warning. Nothing. They just banned him.
Wow.
Yeah, and my buddy has to start over now.
By the way,
they gave him affiliate and everything.
Throwing this out there, if I get banned, you know we're moving to YouTube. So make sure you're following the YouTube link down there.
That's the thing.
When you come back, are you going to YouTube or are you staying on Twitch?
I'm staying on Twitch until I get banned.
Until you get banned. What happened to your venture at D-Live? How was that? Let's talk about D-Live.
It was good for a while. When we started, it was very free. It was a very free platform, but it turned into Twitch very fast.
Oh, really? Was the viewership there? Like, how was your views?
We were very supportive of other channels. Like, we were stream slaves. We were like a group of friends, 4 people who would stream on one channel, and we would all have our own like program. So one would play this. I would play Max Payne to the end. I would play story-based games. One would play retro games. My friend would play Japanese games, and that kind of stuff. But at one point, it just kind of went because everybody was getting fights together, and You know how it goes when you have groups.
Yeah, don't
We've
really
been
do
through
the
that
group
shit.
thing. Yeah, not doing that ever again. Yeah.
No. I'm agreeing with you on that. I mean, I'd rather be friends with you like this than having a group
Than
together.
having
Like
a group.
I never bothered to go too deep into that. I was just like, Stando is my buddy. I'll stay with him.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
we went through a time where, and I don't hold any hard feelings against
No, me neither. The thing
those
is, if they
other
want to come to
guys.
my stream now and check me out, go ahead. But
Yeah, but there
I
for a
don't
while, I
know.
mean, it was really like, I don't know. I felt it. It was
It felt like a spy game, like a Cold War.
like
Kind of what it felt like.
and it was pettiness. I
Yeah.
always felt like it was pettiness. Like I never understood it, and I guess it's because I'm too old to rock that way. Too old to be in high school. So
Yeah, I think I was 23 at the time.
yeah.
So I was like, I was young, man. Jesus.
Yeah, and got
Oh,
caught
I'm
up in that
28 now,
drama, and
guys.
I was like, I don't have time for this. I'm moving on.
Oh, I can tell you. The thing is, I had people on my stream, like friends who came to my stream and started immediately saying a BLM, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, dude, I don't care. First of all, so you're getting a mute. I do not take politics in my stream right now.
Right.
People who start politics are getting a mute,
Yeah.
and then another mute, and then they get banned. And I don't care if you're my friend or not. I don't care if it's a joke. I do not talk politics on my stream.
So you're being very, very apolitical, and that's probably the best.
The thing is, my jokes can be sometimes a little bit political, but that's outside of my stream. I try to be very just towards the game and my friend coming in and say something. It's fair enough. And if people want to talk, I'll talk, but don't go too far, because then I'm just like, nah.
There's a line, right?
There's a line.
Yeah, I get it. Same thing with religion, and since we've been doing this little podcast hangout thing, I think this is our really our third. This is our second episode that will be posted to YouTube and stuff. But
Glad
this
to
is
be here.
we actually had a pilot episode that you can't find. It's gone, where things got a little heated, and we needed to draw out the lines, because the thing is like, we all are heavily convicted in our beliefs and passions, right? And so like, when you're talking to somebody, whether they agree with you or disagree with you,
it's very hard to just nod and say, yeah.
You've got to be able to listen. And that's why I don't have like Tech or Tilgar like Tech will probably join us here in a little bit, but I told him he can only join if
I will not talk politics if people are there that get a bit too passionate. Like there is a saying that I've learned, and it doesn't apply for everyone. It's just a silly saying. It's like, the road to happiness is agreeing with idiots.
Yeah. Well, no, not necessarily. I don't believe that either. But I think.
I mean, it's not agreeing. It's basically just going, if that's your opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't fight it.
Right.
Everybody has is entitled to their opinion. I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to kill you. I'm not going to grab a gun and go or go freaking fucking Jabba the Hutt on you. No.
No, I think what I was getting at with him is that a part of a healthy conversation, a healthy talk, is
listening.
Is in order to, exactly. In order to communicate properly, you got to be willing to listen to the other guy. Even if you don't agree with it, you got to let him get his thing out. So
I can give you a fair example. I'm a good listener. I like to listen. I like to listen. Like I say, I have nothing with religion. I mean, go ahead, believe what you want. I just don't.
It's not you. Got you.
But I still want to learn about it.
Right.
I mean, I'm a history buff. I love my history, and sometimes when you're just listening to someone, like I used to work as a cleaner, and our foreman was a Muslim, And sometimes he just wanted to talk about his religion, but also he was also asking about Dutch stuff. So I was happy to share stuff with him and all that Western culture and this and that. But he also wanted to talk about his religion, his culture. I'm cool. That's cool. As long as we're both just listening to each other, there's nothing wrong. As soon as someone starts fighting or trying violence to get their point across or whatever, then I'm done. Then it's done. Then I don't listen to you anymore.
Right. No, I get you. I get you. You got to be compliant.
Yeah,
to be taken
if you
seriously.
can't have a civil conversation, then what the hell are you doing here?
There you go.
I mean, I'm trying to have a civil conversation. I've had many conversations where I got attacked by two people, and I had to go like, dude, you guys are attacking me right now. Just stay away from me. I'm not doing this. I'm going to say very bad stuff if you start attacking.
Right. Right.
And that's also my autism. If I feel attacked, I shoot in the defense. And I can get very gnarly if I get put in a corner.
Okay. Fair enough.
I mean, I'm not saying that everything I say is what I believe, but it's to piss the person off at that point.
Okay.
And I don't want to, but it's just something in my head that makes me do that sometimes because I love pissing people off sometimes. And mostly because it's people that think they're right. And then you're like, whatever, man. If you think you're right, you're right. I mean,
let's move on to your Twitch career.
My Twitch career.
Your Twitch career. You're on hiatus right now. You're getting ready to move
again.
Again. You've had a couple of those.
I do the occasional stream now, but it's just I've been so stressed, and my head is full of impulses. Too much. I don't know how to say it. But basically, due to my autism and my ADHD, I get very caught up in my emotions sometimes. And I have to pack. I have to do this. I have to watch streams of friends. I have to do this, that, and I just shut down after a while.
It makes you anxious, yeah. Yeah, it's a heavy load.
How do people do this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pain in my hands, for example, arthritis.
Oh, I feel you there.
Stuff you have to live with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
But when you make your eventual return back to a normal schedule, full time, if you want to call it that, you have a big rollout plan? You have you have a big rollout plan? Do you have some big ideas that you're going to be bringing to your streams?
Well, since I have returned a couple months back, I have finished Resident Evil 1 till 6.5. And I was gonna do 7, but the person I'm playing 6 with is not here right now. So I'll probably have to play Revelations at one point, and I'm playing Final Fantasy X, and I was playing Donkey Kong, but that game was making me pissed off.
Okay.
Oh god, that game did puzzles.
Gotcha.
That is 64, and then it's also on a glitchy emulator because I don't have a capture card yet. And I mean, I own the game, so don't blame me.
Right.
It's just very bad in emulation because it uses the expansion bay and.
Right, gotcha. Are you sticking to single player format, or are you looking to diversify it up?
Well, you remember the days that do you remember when I only played Payday?
Yeah.
Or only played Star Wars?
Yes.
Those were both basically days that I was sitting there like, I don't know what to play anymore.
Oh, okay.
This is the problem. I have it today as well. I was sitting here and I was like, what am I going to play? I'm going to play War Thunder. That's what I'm going to play. And I stream that as well sometimes.
Okay.
But I really have to watch the salt because I get extremely salty if I get bullshit shot at.
On the war
you
zone.
shoot him 5 times and he just shoots you once. Blah, you're a heavy tank. And
the Call of Duty BR is. Hey Rudolph, what's up? The Call of Duty BR is very stressful because it's Call of Duty. You can die at any moment. Like it doesn't take much at all, and so you're always calling. That's bullshit.
Yeah, I
It could be
know,
the most
I
legit
love
thing
playing
ever.
it with you. But you get so salty at one point, and then it's me trying to keep everyone together, just me like having fun. And then it's you getting hit by rogue, blip, blip, gone. I was like, oh shit, is it something?
Oh, that was a bad day. That was a
Oh,
bad
God.
day.
I've
I've not had
really a
that
moment.
since. That's when I knew I needed to take a break from Call of Duty, and so we're not playing
Yeah.
Call of Duty as much.
I get that. It's the same. People on my stream, they're asking me to play Dark Souls, and I tell them, extremely salty. You do not want me to play Dark Souls. I mean, yes, you want probably because you're gonna laugh your tits off, but I have the tendency to curse a lot.
But Augur of Doom, he requested a Hulk out via channel point, so I'm going to give that to him real quick. Hope you're still here, Augur. But let me ask you one question. What are you going to do, brother, when the Stano-maniacs and the Stano army rise up and the army of the blue and white run wild on you? All right. So, there you
I
go.
love that. By the way, I love your new server icon.
Oh, yeah. Did you see our the new merch icon? I posted it to yesterday, I think.
Yeah, this is the thing. I have most servers muted because I have too many. I
don't feel bad about that at all. I'm the same way. I have every server by my own.
I think everybody does that.
Yeah. I mean, I check in on the other servers, but yeah. If I don't turn the push notifications off, my phone is literally going da-ding, da-ding, da-ding.
I have
da-ding,
servers that have
da-ding.
everyone on. Oh, that's a nice one. I like that. I might get one if I ever have spare money.
Yeah, I didn't get to set the. I kind of got to set the prices, but kind of not. Like, because the profit margin is so minimal, and so like those hoodies, I was thinking, man, it's over $40 for a hoodie. I'm going to put my profit margin at $2 on those hoodies because that's super expensive, and I feel like I'm asking my friends to like, well, if you want one of these hoodies, you know, but you know, I'm not really getting any money off of them. There they are.
That's the same. I got Streamlabs. I got a T-shirt on Streamlabs, with the so-called propaganda poster that someone made for me. And I love that thing, and you know, I would love people to get it, but I'm like,
right.
It feels like asking my 5 viewers to to buy a T-shirt for $25 and go like, hey, I get €2.50 of that.
I see. He says I feel the same too. I don't know what to play. I ended up reading a novel and later watching a YouTube prank.
That's the same thing what I'm doing. I'm playing D&D a lot nowadays, right? 2 days a week, and we used to stream it, but at the moment I've been so. I'm writing my own story for next week,
right?
Because I'm DMing because our DM can't make it, so I wanted to do my own one shot. So I'm doing an Old Republic Star Wars one.
Now, with
damn, that's a lot of work.
With your autism and ADHD, and I don't know what this like, and I don't know if the program does this for you. Do they help you like learn and get in a rhythm, a schedule, like a set schedule?
They try to, but I'm very stubborn. I am basically. I've always been taught by my parents: live your life,
right?
Do what you want. Don't listen to others. And the thing that they always wanted to teach me is, oh, clean your room, be like a soldier, blah 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 blah. Here, in this place, I'm like, I will clean my room when I feel like it.
On my own terms. Yeah, I get you.
And as soon as someone goes like, oh no, you have to do this, then I go rebel mode. I'm like,
I get you.
It's not that I want to be a dick. It's mostly just people, they act like I'm a fucking retard.
Got you.
this is what happens a lot with people with psychological disabilities. They think you're a retard. And I mean, I'm like we said, we're high functioning autists, so I have a working brain. I can do stuff socially. I'm pretty social for an autist.
Right.
And I can do a lot of stuff myself, but I choose not to.
Right.
I can order my groceries and such. I'm just lazy. I just like ordering my groceries.
Well, he's
instead of
an
going to-
honest autistic too. So
Yeah, that's the thing, by the way. This is true, by the way. People with autism, mostly the people
Mhm.
that I know, are very open and honest about what they say. And I mean, why the hell would I lie about some things? It's like one of my friends used to do is
I was being
he would
sarc-
lie about the smallest things, and I'm like, dude, I don't care. Just tell me the truth. I'd rather have people tell me the truth.
I was being when I said that, don't take it the wrong way. I was being funny, like joking on your.
I never take anything in offense what friends
Oh,
say. Don't worry about
okay.
that. I mean, I've got friends that call me fat ass all the time. So
No. I was being honest. I was being honestly like.
Well, the thing is, we're humans first, then we're autists.
Right.
That's what I've always been told by the people here, and I'm like, I get it. We're not supposed to be called autistics or autists. You're just a person that has autism. So what?
Right.
It's like people are always making fun of it online, and I just go like, that's not how autists work. I don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about, my friend.
Right.
Like it's like they think everything that is bad in the world is due to autists. I'm like, no. A lot of autistic people that I know are actually pretty like, just leave me the fuck alone.
Pretty.
I just want to play my video games,
Yeah.
Just like you and me. I mean, we're like they were. Like I was also taught that most people, like what I was told about autism and then normal people in quotations is normal people start with their social education first. So they learn how to say it, interact with mommy and daddy and everyone around them. Autistic people, they mostly start their cognitive, their
Learning
brain
first, right?
their thinking, and this was a theory that someone said, and I was actually like, that actually sounds pretty much like me, because I came out of my mom and I was not crying.
Right.
I just came out like, what the hell's going on? Light. No, go away, silly pink thing. Light. You know what I mean?
The reason I was asking you about the schedule thing is like, if they're teaching you and regulating you to a schedule,
they do, but the problem with me is I can't have an agenda. I will always forget that I have it, and I have alarms on my phone for like when I have to do the washing, because we all have a day to wash our clothes. Because we're with 7 people.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sitting here like, okay, alarm went. Yep, gotta go. And there was also we got a new counselor now that actually understands gamers.
Okay.
That actually went
that's
like,
cool.
Because they knock on my door, and I get pissed off when you wake me up. I don't like getting woken up, mostly when I've only slept for 3 hours.
Right. It's the same with anybody.
And I just go like, you're going to get a curse thing at your face now. But then this guy's like, no, let him sleep. He's probably just been awake all night, and just let him sleep, and then talk to him later in the afternoon.
Okay. Well, that's cool that you got somebody working with you that's flexible.
Yeah.
But I was wondering if you would take the
I mean,
when
I had
it
a
comes to
schedule.
Twitch, are you going to follow a schedule when it comes to Twitch? Like,
I actually had a schedule. I just used my schedule that I used to do during when I started, when I was having a lot of fun with streaming. When I started playing Banjo-Kazooie and all that, and I just did 8 to 12, and if I had fun, I'd continue. But now I can't even keep on for an hour because I just get bored.
Fair enough.
I don't know. It's probably just because a depression setting in, or just like a dip. I think a dip is setting in. But it doesn't matter. It's like it's not a depression. It's more like one of those moments that you're just like, I don't know what to do. I just don't want to play anything. I just want to watch a movie or just chill with a friend, talk with him. Like what we're doing now.
Now you do suffer depression. I suffer anxiety and depression.
Anxiety. Oof.
Do you take medication for that, or how do you
not
cope?
needed.
How do you cope with it? How do you deal with it? How do you deal with your depression?
Mostly, I just tell people to leave me alone for a little bit. Like today, one of the counselors wanted to talk to me, like just a daily update, and I was like, "Could you just leave me alone for the day? I'm not feeling well. I'm just gonna take a nap and just lay in my bed, just lay in your bed and listen to some music or whatever." And that's how I cope with the stuff. And sometimes just talking to your friends, but then your friends shouldn't piss you off.
Right.
Because I went out of the chat at 10. Normally I go later. But I was like, yeah, just a little dip. And anxiety is something I have a lot. I mean, it's mostly my parents and everything. I just don't want to lose them and everything. That's my biggest anxiety.
Right.
And in a way, I'm coping with it. But in another way, I'm like, no. It's something everyone fears, though. Come on, let's be honest.
Do you take medication for the autism and ADHD?
Nope.
So
here's the thing:
no medication.
Why I don't take my Concerta anymore or my Stratera. I got extremely depressed.
Okay.
And I mean, I'm not suicidal. I will never be suicidal. No. But I was so depressed that my friends, or at least flat, is that a good way to say it? I reacted like this. Yeah, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not really depressed. You didn't care. You didn't give two fucks.
I didn't care. I got no emotions. And my friends were actually starting to notice. And at the moment that they said, Joey, are you okay? I went like, no, I'm not okay. These medicine are tampering with my emotions.
Yeah.
So I'm not taking them anymore. So I'm not taking. The only thing I take is naproxen.
Okay. And what's that for?
Arthritis.
Okay.
It's basically like ibuprofen, but then stronger.
Okay. I was just wondering because it seems like Americans take something for everything. Like our doctors talk us into it. I think
I'd rather not. I said, I went to the rheumatologist, and like one of my fingers was really like fucked up, and I can still not bend it completely, and I probably won't ever anymore. But he's like, dude, you have massive inflammation in that finger. I'm like, no, you don't say it. And he came with the needle, put it between my joints. I'm like, I'd rather have that. But he's like, yeah, we can't do it. It's stress hormone. I'm like, yeah, heart attacks and such. Yeah, don't do that.
Okay.
Doctors love me because I can talk with them.
But yeah, I'm on like Cymbalta for depression. Right. I'm on a blood pressure medicine. And then I'm on...
Yeah, here in the Netherlands, they don't give that easily.
Xanax for anxiety.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. I don't know. We can't really get that. And the thing is, what I sometimes did to calm my nerves a little bit, but it can also work the other way around. I just smoked a joint.
Yeah. Smoked it.
But I don't want to smoke. So I quit that again. And I mean, the thing that I do to calm down is just lay down.
Now speaking of which, you live in Amsterdam, and
yeah,
in many of our states and stuff, it has become recreational pots slowly but surely becoming legal everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But recreational pot's been legal in Amsterdam forever. That's what it's known for. But is
It's not necessarily legal.
okay.
You can have 5 grams, so to say, on your person. If you have more, they can arrest you for dealing.
Right.
You can only buy it in coffee shops. You can smoke it anywhere you like because we don't really have a way to measure. But if you're under heavy influence and you're driving, you can still get a DUI.
DUI.
It's like, I don't know. The Netherlands is. It's like the police. They go like, we have a Dutch saying. It means seeing through the fingers,
Right.
and that means we just go like, cool. It's like they don't want to worry too much about that, because if they're going to worry too much about that, they don't have time to worry about other things. Seeing as the weed culture in Amsterdam is already very big,
Right.
and I mean, go ahead, smoke your lungs out.
They
I
got
don't
more
care.
important things to worry about.
Yes, basically.
It's not.
And I think that's a very good demeanor towards it, because
Right.
I have never seen someone that smoked a joint and started robbing a bank or something. You know what I mean? Okay, probably a person that
Probably to calm their nerves, so they
yeah, probably for that, but not in the way that it's like if you smoked like a whole big one and you're like you're not going to do
automatically a
anything. You're
criminal.
going to sit on your ass and watch a movie. You're going to talk bullshit with your friends, and that's what I always did.
Okay.
It's fun. The thing is, it's fun sometimes, but you feel really fucked up the next day, and it's just like booze. Like booze is a little bit more destructive, but Jeebus.
And you don't do the booze either, right?
Sometimes a little bit, but I don't mostly don't drink myself hammered.
With
I'm mostly gonna
a
get slurred words like that, but never further than that.
with a psychological disability, does booze?
The funny thing about this disability that I have, the form that I have, is like I'm not psychotic or anything. I can do
Right.
my things. Like I can, if I have a nervous breakdown, I shut down. I just
Right.
tell everybody to fuck themselves, basically. And this,
But I was wondering if the booze, does it have a chemical reaction
that's a
for
good
you
question.
that makes you more over emotional?
Not really. I've had. I think it really depends on your emotions at that point.
Okay.
Because I've had one time where I was extremely drunk with my friends on a voice chat like this, what we're doing now,
Mm-hmm.
and I did weird shit. I was very annoying. And another time I was very drunk and we were just laughing our tits off, playing a
Right.
video game and doing things. And I think it really was because I was very depressed at that time. So I was trying to be funny and it wasn't really coming over funny, and people were really being dad and mom to me, and I don't like that.
Got you.
And I've had fun things. It's like booze. I don't think it affects me any different than a joint does or whatever. I mean, with a joint, I basically just sit down and watch a movie or YouTube or whatever, and just fall asleep or something.
Now, your day job is part of a social program. Did they help you?
I do nothing at the moment.
Do what?
I kind of have told the people at the social security thing that I'm not doing anything until Corona is gone.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. Well, that's fair. That's fair.
But it's a thing. It's a thing. Like I want to not have it, not spread it. I'm mostly of the person, the kind of person that goes like, I'd rather not get it than having to treat it and heal it.
I know.
Know what I mean?
I totally get it. I totally understand. Like, started off the stream today.
Because the thing
Testing the
is,
new
I have
masks. Like
I got the stupid thing that I have social security here in the Netherlands, so I get money. So in a way, I can live off that, and that's fine. And I mean, just don't pester me right now with, oh, you have to have a job. Like, I'm not gonna be there when the second wave hits. You're funny.
Are you still
You know what I mean?
working at the comic book store? Still in good standing at the
I'm still
comic book store?
working with the people. They're still my friends, and they today they asked when I wanted to come over. I'm like, I'm free every day of the week, so you can ask me when. Um, but the thing is, yeah, the store is closed, and due to the whole Corona business started up around the time that we were gonna have Dutch Comic Con, so they lost a lot of income from that, so they couldn't really do that.
Is there going to be here in the U.S. for small businesses? There was a bailout for small businesses. Is there something equal to that in the Netherlands?
That's something I've never looked into, but I don't think so because they are so-called own employed or something, and I don't think that you get a lot of help when you have your own business here.
No, that's unfortunate.
I've been listening to them talk about it, and I've just sat there like, what is this unfair bullshit that like big
Yeah, because
corporations?
it's not their fault that it's nobody's fault that Corona is a thing. So like,
I mean, the Netherlands has been very, in my opinion, very against
hands
its
off.
people, against the civilians, because I've had the feeling that they are just looking down on us. They're like, oh yeah, people are just going outside and blah blah blah, and other people are just going outside. They're getting corona and everything, and whatever the f,
Right.
and they're not listening to the law anyways.
We got kind of the same problem here. You got
I think everywhere. I think it's
politicians not wanting to
They're not
damage
in
the
touch with the
economy
people.
anymore, and so the country's kind of reopened too soon, and then you've got both sides weaponizing the coronavirus against the other side and using it as a political weapon, and that's not fair to the people you're supposed to be protecting at all. And
Like if like I'm gonna to maybe it sounds stupid. I would probably go with a situation like this where hundreds and thousands of people are dying. I would say fuck the economy for now. We're going to give everyone a care package with a mask in it. You know what I mean?
right.
Care for your people, but they're not doing that. They're just like, no, fuck them. We care for the economy, and it's like, no, don't do that. No.
So
Yeah.
our
Stop talking to people.
what about necessities like you were talking grocery stores?
Oh, everything is open now.
Everything's
Everything,
open.
almost everything is open now, but there's still like strict rules for like Horeca, how do you call it? Horeca, restaurants and such.
Right.
Like the stores you can go into, but there's still like 1.5 meter distance and everything. Was it 5 foot, something like that?
Okay. Here we're using the 6 foot rule.
Yeah,
Must be
6 foot.
wearing a
Yeah.
mask when indoors.
Yeah, we don't have to wear a mask,
Yeah.
but people do look at you weird, and I don't have a mask, so I'm like, sorry, I
I
have to do
think
groceries.
our county doesn't have to wear a mask at the moment. I think certain corporations are requiring you to, but the ones that aren't requiring you to, you don't have to wear a mask to go in. But the county over the big city that's closest to us, they are, yeah, it's like a $50 fine if you're not wearing your mask inside in public, or 30-day jail time.
We actually had a little bit of KGB stuff in the Netherlands during the time that it was worst. They could actually just knock on your door and come inside. The
Oh,
police.
really?
Yeah, because there were people that were there was a rule that you could only be with your household plus 3.
plus
So
3.
3 people could be visiting and blah blah blah, but some people were having more people over,
Right,
so they
parties.
had to go inside. And I could tell you the fines for that are not funny.
I've heard
We
these
don't have
crazy
funny
stories that
$50. It's
there
like, okay,
are
I can pay that. Here go.
there are literally
400.
coronavirus parties in America going on right now. People who are gathering together, wanting to get the people on, like they want to catch corona, so they're having these parties to catch corona to build up their immunity and stuff. And I'm like, I'm not sure that's how that works. Like your immune system can only handle.
I would
so
wait for an
much.
inoculation.
Yeah.
I mean, you have people that are against it, but you don't get autism from it. I was born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline.
Yeah, New York. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like the mothers in the state side, of course. New York, the
I just have to
anti-vaxxers, the anti-vaxxers that believe that like the vaccines will give their kids autism or the autism gene, and that's not how that works. Like,
Genealogy, you don't catch that.
right, it's genetics.
Yeah.
Not.
It's not a bacteria. It's not a virus. It's not a heavy metal. It's
and
nothing.
it's not curable. So like,
It's not curable. You can live. You can learn to live with it.
you can learn to
Yes.
live with it. You can learn to treat it. But yeah, it's so backwards thinking. And then a disease like measles that we had wiped off the planet.
Yeah, due to inoculation.
Due to inoculation, start suddenly popping back up. Well, my kid's got measles. Well, I wonder why your kid's got measles. I hope your kid sues your ass off when he becomes an adult. Like,
There's people
wow.
getting polio.
Yeah, in 2020, it's crazy. Yeah,
Tuberculosis. People are getting that.
Friendly person says she has to wear a mask everywhere on campus when she goes back to school. They gave us the option here whether you want to do in-person classes or
I can tell you one thing about the
online
mask.
learning.
Don't wear it the whole time. It's very bad for your breathing.
Very bad for your breathing.
I mean, take a couple of moments sometimes to just take it off for a little bit, take a normal breath, and then, because the thing is, it's okay, but it depends what kind of mask you have. Because if you really have the surgical masks, you're gonna have trouble if you have to wear that too long. I mean, I'm not telling you to get corona, but it's just something weird.
Right.
As
You're
long as you
into
don't.
you are very fluent in Japanese culture as well, right?
A little bit.
A little bit. Are you being modest?
I'm not that cultured. I just like the samurai and the history, but the culture is. I'm still learning stuff about the culture, so now and then, because I've got a friend that lives there who tells me stuff.
Well, master and flu season in Japan is like,
They've been having that for a long time already.
yeah, that's very normal.
Yeah, it's because the COVID-19 is actually a form of SARS.
Yeah.
Which they already had a lot of issues with in the Asian hemisphere.
Uh-huh.
And and now there's a new form of that, and that's spreading everywhere like wildfire.
Right. But SARS goes back as far as 2000. Japan's really been doing this for longer than that.
They're a very hygienic people as well.
Yeah, they are very hygienic. And that's what I was thinking. Like, if you're sick in Japan and you cough in public and you're not wearing a mask, you are like...
Hand. You keep your hand and you wash your hand after that.
Yeah.
You cough in your hand, basically. But they're already a very a people that uses their hand in front of their mouth a lot.
Yeah.
Because there's no dentist.
No dentist.
Not a lot, at least.
I did not know that. I've never seen an Asian people... Talking about bad teeth, I've never seen an Asian person with bad teeth. Now, if we're talking about, like, British people with bad teeth, I've seen lots of British people with bad teeth. They're kind of known for that stereotype. But I've never seen
Come
an
on,
Asian
George
with bad
Washington
teeth.
had a wooden
Yeah, he had wooden teeth. Yeah.
and he was a Brit.
So, yeah, the Brits are kind of known for bad dentistry. But I did not know that about Japan. That's interesting. That's interesting. But I do know, like saying again, like if they're not wearing a mask and they cough or are sick, they're kind of publicly humiliated and shamed right there in the street. Like everybody
That I
turns
don't
to
know.
that person and oh wow,
The thing is, Japan is a very keep to yourself culture. What I've noticed, at least, people really keep to themselves. They don't want to get trouble. They want to get this, that. That's at least what I have noticed mostly. And like they can get interested in you, but they won't be interested for very long. It's how do you say it? I think it's just the culture. It's like I I don't know how to explain it differently without sounding like a complete ass.
okay, fair enough.
I
Fair
believe
enough.
if you speak the language, they can get very interested in you and that kind of stuff. But I don't know if you cough that they would really look at you weird.
I don't know. What was that show? Do you ever watch Top Gear?
Once or twice.
Once or twice. There was an episode where they were in Japan, and it was one of those the car versus public transport in Japan. And I think the lead guy was driving the newest GTR at the time, and the other two they were going the same distance, but the other two could only use public transit while he got to drive. He had to drive a longer distance, but it equaled out to where time wise they should hit there at the same time or a little bit and see who was faster, right? And they were calling to check in on each other halfway through the episode, and they were on a bus or a train. I can't remember if it was a bus or a train. But everybody on the bus and train started yelling at them for using their phone on the bus or train. Like, you're not allowed to do that.
Maybe it's a thing that I get annoyed with as well. Gotta be honest, but I think it's really because Japan is a very communal thing. Um, I don't know why they yell at them for using their phone, but I get annoyed sometimes when I'm in the bus and somebody's like yelling over the phone,
Right. Yeah.
and I'm like, yeah, okay, well, can you just tone it down or just talk when you're out? I mean, I'm standing here as well, you know.
You don't want to hear your
If I had my
conversation.
earbuds, it would be cool, but I just don't like listening into other people's conversations. I find that
Right.
rude, but you do it automatically because you hear it.
Right. No, I get it. I get it. And cell phones are everywhere these days. Matter of fact, I don't know if you feel the same way. I think social media, like whether you believe in a heaven or hell or God or devil or not, social media is the devil.
It is.
Like, I feel like social media has become our downfall as society. Like the worst human
I've
traits are
noticed
on
it a
social
lot
media.
because nobody speaks anymore. Even if you're on Discord, sometimes people just leave the chat and then you ask them why they leave. For example, why they leave your server. And they're like, yeah, nobody's talking. I'm like, you can speak as well.
Like,
Is it that hard to sometimes post a little meme, say a little thing? It's not that hard. I mean, I talk in my D&D chat all the time. I speak in chat. I sit in chat waiting for people to join, you know, and then people join and we talk.
but
Like today, I was in chat. People join the chat. They don't say anything.
but it seems like in America, like, and I know we're going through a hard time right now, and people are hurting, but it seems like anything could be taken out of context so
Yes.
easily, and you instantly become racist or sexist or bigoted in some form or another, and it just drives me crazy how people attack each
It's
other
really,
over
really funny.
petty things sometimes.
You say the sexist thing, right? So a buddy of mine who is like-minded as me, he sent me a video of a woman, and she was actually defending men in a way of like, oh yeah, men sometimes have to adjust their nutsack because it's in the wrong position. It's not. It doesn't make them a pervert. They just want to
Right.
have comfort.
Right.
And they're watching porn. Don't be a thing. We watch porn as well, and isn't that? And they say we flick the bean too. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you're right. People shouldn't bitch that much. Men are a bit more easy with it, though. I get it, but it's the way how our
Men
social
are,
thing is built up.
men are easy. I feel like men
I
in
think
general.
men are actually just as difficult as women. Let's be honest.
Do you really think so? I think we're easy. Like,
I think in a way we're easy, but they think too. Some women think too thingy about us, too difficult about us, and then we're like, but I mean,
they try to overcomplicate us.
Yes, that's what I mean. Thank you.
And we're really not that complicated. We are very simple.
I know.
We need a few things, food,
Boobs, tits, ass,
food, boobs,
nice person, cool.
Food, boobs, drink, air. We don't need a whole lot. And I think they try to overcomplicate us. I really, really do. Like, I was at work and one of my friends at work said that his wife was sick or whatever. I said, oh man, that's too bad. And that was it. I come home and I tell my wife and I'm like, oh, by the way, so-and-so's wife is sick at work. Yeah. Well, how did she get it? What did it do?
Oh, yes.
God. I don't know. Well, why didn't you ask?
I have this problem. Like, I have autism, and I know this because I sometimes do it as well. I have to know everything. But I have taught myself not to get too interested in things.
Right.
But I know that a lot of women that I know, I'm not saying that's everyone, they have the same thing. They go like, oh, but what color was it? What was this? What was that? And I'm like, woman, it was a fire truck. You know what I mean? I have a lot of that kind of conversations with my female friends. It's so hilarious sometimes, and I don't mean to be rude to them, but
right.
it's like,
No.
it's like you're just
like
trying to explain one thing,
though.
and they want to know the whole damn story. I'm like, I'm not 50 Shades of Grey. Okay.
Like, women, when women talk, and like, like they try to set up play dates for us. Like, they'll invite one of their friends that are like, "Oh, I will do this."
They're setting up stuff. Let's be direct with me, damn it.
I'm not kidding. She'll be like, so and so's coming over. Okay, and she's bringing her husband. You'll like him. He likes Marvel movies and video games and stuff too.
That's basically teching you at that point.
And so the women are in there gabbing, and I'm like, "What's up?" And he's like, "Not much," because there's that awkward. We don't know each other. He's not,
You want to watch baseball? Okay, yeah, but
you want to watch a movie? All right. And that's it. Like, we're not that complicated at all. I did not need her to set me up a play date. If she wants to have her friend over, fine. Let me go to my room and do my thing on my own. I don't need Sideshow Bob over here, okay? Like,
I know exactly what you mean. Oh god. I mean, I did meet my best buddy that way, though. That was pretty funny. It actually went like this. This was the joke. This was how Raymond and I became best buddies. It was this. You know the movie Step Brothers?
Yes, Will Ferrell and yeah,
and the other guy,
John C. Reilly.
It went like this. I said Star Wars. He said Star Wars. Ah! And then it basically went like this. Are we friends now? Yes. That's how it went. And we're still friends to date.
It's amazing how divisive Star Wars has become. And I
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't like Star Wars that much anymore, but
Star Wars trilogy, awesome.
good.
Everybody loves it.
Prequel, cool.
Prequels came out, and the new kids loved it, and the older fans hated it. And we're seeing that same thing around with this latest trilogy. Like, the older fans who loved the prequels and loved the original trilogy, they hate it. But the little kids love it. It's more Star Wars, you know? Like,
But I think that's more because when you reach a certain age, you start to go like, okay, I want to know everything. I want to know the lore of this. I want to know this. And as a kid, you're most like, ooh, Darth Vader. Ooh, Darth Maul. Ooh, Kylo Ren. He's cool. He's a bad guy. Or Obi-Wan.
right.
You know, as a kid, you don't think about that stuff. You just see colorful sabers flying around, hands getting cut off and stuff. You're like, cool, yeah. And as an adult, you're like, oh, look, it's Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker. No. What? Nah. What are you doing, Lucas? Nah. You know, that kind of stuff.
Right.
And I mean, I've watched episode 7, 8, and 9, and I don't necessarily think they're that bad, except for 8. That was a tragedy. But Jesus, I would rather have the extended universe. Yeah. The expanded universe was so much. They stole so much from the books that are now not canon anymore.
Well,
here's the thing. A clone? No, look at Dark.
Here's the thing. Does just because they're rewriting the canon, I mean,
they're doing it with everything.
Well, I understand that, but what I'm saying is the extended universe in my mind is like alternate timeline could have been possible, still canon in that universe. This is canon in this universe, but this is canon over here. This is where it kind of split.
I agree with you. On that.
Like, you like can't just say something's not canon. There's too much art out there. And Disney can say, yeah, it's not really canon. We're not going this direction. Well, then I'm not interested in what you're doing. I want to keep following this hole over here. You know.
I mean, I gotta be honest with things like The Mandalorian and such. I loved it.
Oh yeah, Mandalorian's great.
Mandalorian is great. I am really I have a lot of hope for the Obi-Wan series because I want to see Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan again.
Right.
If I was gay, that would be my love. Jeebus.
I know this. If Obi-Wan, I want to see him utterly broken in this series.
Yes.
Like,
yes, I want to see him broken
devastated.
up, conflicted. I want him talking to Qui-Gon, to Yoda. Yoda probably not, but probably Qui-Gon. Yeah, I want him to be broken and trying to find salvation and looking over Luke and everything. That's what I want to see.
That's what I want to see too.
If they do it, like if they have flashbacks to Qui-Gon and him in those days, I'm cool with that too. I love the pre Clone Wars area.
Right.
I've like I said, the whole non-canon canon. Here's the thing: you got head canon. Use that.
There you go.
This is the same thing. What I'm doing, I'm taking the fun stuff from the so-called new canon and the legacy, and I'm making my own campaign for Star Wars for my friends.
But I don't necessarily want the Obi-Wan thing to be an action series. I want it to be a drama. I want to see this guy broken, conflicted, lost, not knowing what to do.
I want it to be a soul-searching thing.
Rewriting the what the Jedi stands for, what the rules should be. Yeah, totally. Because Luke was allowed to fall in love. They never told Luke that you couldn't fall in love, that love leads to hate. They only told Anakin that, and that's down that path he went.
The whole thing with Luke Skywalker's thing is he got so little training from two Jedi Masters. I've been reading I've read a lot of the comics, and he does find a lot of holocrons and all that kind of stuff with information from other Jedi. It's just really hard to see how he became a Jedi Master at one point.
Right.
Because it feels like oh, I've never been bothered about the midichlorians and this and that. They made that uncanon now, or it's not necessary. It's not important anymore. I'm like, why put it in the movie then?
The midichlorians. I think I was watching a game theorist video the other day, and I like what it was talking about the midichlorians. Like it was talking about a scene in the last Star Wars movie. Spoilers. Where you see the Force Ghost have an impact on something.
But that has always been true, actually.
That's what he was saying. Is that's always been true. But then if that's true, why don't the Force Ghosts just fight the Sith? Technically, they can, but the problem is where the Sith lie. There's not a lot of life, which means there's not a lot of midichlorians.
I think there is midichlorians, but I think they're corrupted.
No,
in my personal opinion.
Well, the thing is, midichlorians is like a real thing that like lives in.
Yeah, it's like things in your blood cells and everything.
Yeah. And so you need life to have midichlorians. And every time we see a Jedi interact with something in the real world, like Obi-Wan brushing the limbs off in Return of the Jedi, in Dagobah, there is a lot of life on Dagobah. So it's like a hot spot. Like, you know what I mean? The Force Ghost can obviously interact. And even in Hoth, when there was a little bit of life on Hoth, you still saw the ghost of... He wasn't able to fully manifest, but you still saw the ghost of Obi-Wan.
This sounds so right, because if you've watched the Clone Wars animated series, there is a moment where he goes basically to the epicenter of the Force.
Yeah.
And there Qui-Gon speaks to Obi-Wan.
Right.
And he was also in full form, but in the original story, he can't become full form because he hasn't completed that thing that Yoda did complete and Obi-Wan did complete. And there you see him in full form talking to him, and like if there's a lot of light present and life, and you can just, it surrounds you, like they say, surrounds you, penetrates you, it binds the world together, as they say. I think the Sith have their own equivalent of that, because the Sith.
But I think the Sith are afraid of. Correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't the Sith afraid of that, and that's why Darth Vader builds his fortress in the volcanic layer planet. You know, like where there's it's almost devoid of life.
There is an official reason why he built it in Mustafar, because Darth Sidious kind of. He basically told Darth Sidious he wanted to build a palace in Mustafar, and Darth Sidious says, the place of your failure.
Right.
And he's like, I think it's because he failed there. He wants to repent in a way. Darth Vader is a very complex character because he's very
right. No, I get it.
Because there was a picture that I saw in a book that there was a picture in one of the comics where you could see his Force aura, and you could see the butterflies of the light side a little bit in him, but the dark side was winning, sort of. And at that point, he hadn't met his son yet, so his son probably awakened that light side left in him, so that he could become the last when he sacrificed himself for his son.
Right.
In 6.
But another thing the theorist was talking about is like when Luke in Return of the Jedi is in the throne room fighting Vader, and he's going to strike down the Emperor. He's letting hate get to him. Again, he's in a setting where there's not a lot of life. So he's
That is also true, and what I also noticed when he was there, he was being influenced a lot, and this is the thing with Luke. He has not really been taught to control his emotions that much,
Right.
as it Obi-Wan has been trained very
Mhm.
long. He could harness his emotions, and he would let himself get struck down without fear. As in Luke, he's very emotional. His uncle and aunt got killed on Tatooine. He's seen so much death.
Right.
And just think about it, as a young kid. Like, he was what, 25, something like that. He
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
that
yeah,
old.
yeah.
And then he has to witness this stuff, a destruction of a planet, lots of stormtroopers after you. You're coming to terms that your father is the bad guy. Because Yoda dying on you, Obi-Wan, your mentor, dying on you. You know, I would
No,
probably
no.
go mental, and
And
he
angry.
sees his friends dying in front of him, and yeah, he kind of snapped, and that shows you he's human.
Right. No,
He's
I
human, but
totally
he didn't
agree.
give into
He
it.
didn't give into it, which is the
And at the
important
end,
thing.
when he had his father's hand cut off, and he saw the stuff, the wires, he looked at his hand, and he's like, "We're the same." And that's when he realized, like, okay, I can't. That's why he threw away his lightsaber, which was a dumb decision, to be honest.
Yeah.
Mr. Taser Hands.
Mr. Taser Hands.
I love that scene. I gotta be honest. It shows you the emotion that Luke has, and you basically see the
The
switch
inner
of Darth
conflict.
Vader choosing for his son instead of that evil man that actually that he just follows because he doesn't have anything else.
Right.
Padme is dead. Obi-Wan basically betrayed him in his eyes. Yeah, he's been fucked around by Darth Sidious for a long time. So since the moment that he touched his shoulder on Naboo, I will watch your career with this and that. That's the moment where everything went wrong.
Another Star Wars-ish topic, but not necessarily detriment to Star Wars that I want to talk to you about, because Star Wars has done it most recently. There's a movie coming out in the near future where James Dean is going to be the leading man in the movie. CGI characters, bringing dead actors back to life. Carrie Fisher for Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stuff they did with Princess
Rogue One?
Organa in the last Star Wars movie.
Rogue One, they did it as well because Tarkin, he was also CGI.
Tarkin was CGI. How do you feel about that?
I would say if they have the blessing of the family, I would be fine with that because it's like it's a blessing and it's an honorific towards the person that had thingy the role instead of just, oh, let's just use another actor. You know.
Right.
And in a way, I get why you use another actor because you're like, it's a little bit, you know, this person is dead. People don't like seeing, yeah. And I get it. But in another way, I am okay with it as long as they have the blessing of the family of the person, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, the daughter of Carrie Fisher played in the movie as well, so...
I think it makes sense to resurrect a character, a beloved character, or, you know...
Tarkin was beloved, even though he was in one movie.
Yeah. And it makes sense to resurrect a character. But what about this James Dean situation where it's a new movie, a new role? It's not like a sequel. It's not resurrecting a character. It's just the actor to be starring in a role. How do you feel about that?
The Star Wars movie?
Star Wars movie? No.
What movie are we talking about? Because I'm a little confused.
I read it somewhere. 6 decades after death, thanks to CGI. The Rebel Without a Cause. Vietnam era action drama.
You mean from the Fonz, right? Or am I wrong?
No, he wasn't the Fonz. I mean, he was that's Henry Winkler. James Dean he was a young actor in the 50s, 60s.
Yeah, he didn't get old. I just read it on Wikipedia.
Yeah. But now they're doing this Vietnam era film, and they want James Dean's likeness for their lead character. So.
But yeah, I get your meaning with the beloved character thing, because we don't know this character. It's not been portrayed by this person. I mean, I'm okay with CGI if it doesn't take over the movie, if you know what I mean.
I think the name of the movie is going to be called Finding Jack. It's an adaptation of a 2015 novel. He did get the family's blessing to use the James Dean likeness, but it is a new story arc and a new character.
And it's kind of weird.
James Dean's been dead for 64 years, but they feel like he's the perfect what they want for their movie. So
it's very hard to decide about. It's a very, very, very hard topic. That I mean, in a way, I'm like, okay, cool. But in another way, I'm like, we don't know this character, so why?
Yeah. Why does it have to be James Dean? Why can't it be an actual act? I mean, of course, they're going to have somebody voice act in James Dean's,
Yeah, that's basically what the same thing they did with Rogue One, with somebody voicing Tarkin.
Yeah.
Just picking his pointed.
But
that kind.
For a new character, though, like, I understand why you would do it in an existing franchise. Like, if they were to come out with a Return to Hogwarts, right? And Dumbledore, the guy who played Dumbledore, is not able to return. That makes sense. Basically what I mean. But for a new project, to think about it. Yeah, for a new project, though,
I would probably not do that. I mean, for characters like Carrie Fisher and whichever character, fair enough. I mean, Carrie Fisher is a very big part of the franchise,
right?
And bless her heart, she passed away too soon. But I mean, the movies were still being made, and you can't. I get with a movie like Star Wars, you wouldn't really want to have a look-alike in the movie all of a sudden. And you're like,
but where do you draw the line? Like, could you have like CGI Richie Valens doing a concert?
No. It's the same with Elvis or whatever the F. No, concerts are different. It's like it's the same what they did in Amsterdam with a local folk artist, Andre Hazes. He died on an airplane a lot of years back, but they wanted to have a hologram of him singing a song with his son.
Yeah.
Okay, his son is there. His son is a singer now too, also called Andre Hazes.
I saw a thing where they did a hologram thing with Tupac Shakur for a live concert with some unreleased tracks and stuff. I don't know. It just felt weird to me.
Yeah, it's something that you really have to think about sometimes. Like, how far do you want to go with that stuff? It's like if they would make a Laurel and Hardy flick, the Laurel and Hardy, those guys, as soon as the fat guy died, they Laurel didn't continue.
Right.
He stopped. He still answered fan mail, which I can only respect. But he didn't do shows anymore. And I get that, I'm gonna go with a lookalike. No.
No, it's not the same.
Or to think about a CGI movie or whatever. I mean, it's weird to think about it.
Yeah, it is weird. It's weird. It's one of those things where it's kind of divisive. Yeah, it's divisive. When is it okay? When is it not okay? Because the Fast and the Furious, what was it, 6 or 7? Paul Walker died in the middle of making that movie, and they had his stunt double CGI'd with Paul Walker's face, and then they They did some incredible work with Cody Walker, which was Paul Walker's brother, and did CGI over his face. But we're not getting any new Paul Walker movies anytime soon.
No, that was sad though when I heard that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not really a big fan of the movies, but I mean, I get the charm and everything, and Paul Walker was a big part of those movies, and then he's suddenly not there anymore, and then you're in the middle of filming a movie. I get the decision that they took.
Mm-hmm.
You already paid a lot of money to make this movie, and now you can't finish it.
Right.
I get that, and it's a very hard topic to really get an opinion out of. Because in a way, I was actually shocked when I saw Rogue One and I saw what was his name?
Tarkin,
and I was like, actually, damn, and sounds like it as well.
Yeah, there. It's not perfect yet. Like in Rogue One,
you can see it. You can
see it. You can tell it's CGI. But there is going to be a day when it's going to be like indistinguishable. You know what I mean?
Well, as long as it has ray tracing right now, it's all good. Goddamn PS5, man. Ray tracing.
We're almost at that. What do you call it? The uncanny valley on graphics.
Yeah, we're almost there where everything looks realistic.
Yeah.
I mean, some games that I play, my parents. This is a thing that they actually said. I played Everything or Nothing, the James Bond game, right, with Pierce Brosnan's likeness in it. They were like, he looks like it. Now, if I play a game for them, they're like, dude, that almost looks real.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is scary. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. I came from the time when we had polygons.
Yeah. Well, I come from sprites, so just to see the evolution from sprites.
I've played Atari and everything. So I mean, my when I was at my aunt's house, I always played Atari there because we didn't have anything else there. But it was fun.
Yeah.
But SNES.
And some CGI from back. Think of when CGI was first implemented. There was CGI going on in the 80s. Some of it looks cheesy as hell now. But some of it still really holds up. Look at the T-1000 in Terminator 2.
Mm-hmm.
That really holds up. Like, that was...
I mean, a lot of movies in those days use stop motion.
Yeah.
Like horror movies use that a lot. Like Evil Dead, for example, used a lot of stop motion. I mean, your first movie was a little... the second one was better. But I don't know. It has this feel to it. Old movies, I like old movies better than new movies because everything is so realistic most of the time in new movies.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just want that old timey feel of stop motion in your movie. Or 90s movies with slapstick humor with the old guys from.
But even movies from that era, like think about The Abyss, right? With Ed Harris, the movie Abyss. The CGI in that, for the time, still holds up today. It's some of the best CGI work ever done in a movie. And it just blows my mind how good it was. And it's better than some of today's CGI. It's just fucking crazy.
I mean, most CGI actually went to an explosion after Star Wars with Pixar and all that kind of stuff. That's when it actually went boom.
Yeah.
And in the 90s, everything was still a little cringy with the CGI, okay. But then you get to the 2000s and it gets much better and much better and much better and much better. And sometimes I just don't care about movies anymore because it's too much of the, it's too
spectacle. Realistic. Yeah. I don't know. But like the T-1000, going back to Terminator 2, it was CGI used subtly.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so subtle. I mean, it's not the entire characters made of CGI. It was subtle, things that they did that was CGI in that movie. And I think that's when it's used best. I think when we go overboard in the CGI. Like you can tell, and it's obvious and blatant, and the movie doesn't look as good as when it's
like if it's made completely with CGI. Some movies can actually be pretty good, like Alita: Battle Angel.
Oh yeah.
I love that movie. That was a very good movie, but it was completely made in CGI.
Right.
And that's okay. But if it's 90% CGI and then so much percent normal movie, like practical effects are a thing, you know?
Yeah. Even looking at like Jurassic Park and bringing those dinosaurs to life, right? Like
animatronics, right?
A lot of it was CGI, a lot of it was practical effects, and it was a perfect blend that still holds up to this day.
Yeah, I still love watching the movies. I can just set up my Netflix and watch a Jurassic Park movie, 1, 2, and 3, and even the new ones. I can just watch them. I don't know. It's just it depends on the movies, and it depends on the nostalgia you have with the movies as well.
Yeah, that's true too. Then you look at movies like legends, like The Never-Ending Story, where it's all practical effects. Yeah. That whole movie is practical effects, and it looks fucking amazing. So
it does, but also just look at the movies with Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah.
I fucking love that dude. That dude was so amazing. I cried my eyes out when I heard he passed away.
Yeah.
That was great. With the Naked Gun and such. I left my tits off at those movies. Oh, God.
Yeah.
I'm Frank. With the Ed Proceed. Oh, God. As a kid, I loved those movies. I still love them. I can still watch them anytime I want. Oh, man. Good movies, man.
Crazy.
I'm a 90s kid, and I love 90s movies. The 80s movies can also 70s. Dude. Just thinking back to that time, you can't unwatch those movies.
Right. Well, I was born in 1980, so like, I had cool stuff. Like speaking back on Michael Keaton, 1989 Batman, to me, his portrayal of Batman is still the best Batman on screen. Hands down. Now, you can argue whether Jack Nicholson is the best Joker for you or whatever, but Tim Burton's Batman
is the best.
Overall,
I actually prefer the older Batmans over the newer ones.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I don't like the realism in them. The thing is, I like the side of Tim Burton's because it was dark, gritty, and it was like Batman was in those days. Nowadays, they're with Christian Bale, good Batman. Don't get me wrong. The movies are liked. I'm not saying they're bad. It's just that the realism kind of made it for me. Because, I'm used to the Batmobile with the big jet engine behind it and all that kind of stuff. Fucking great.
I mean, there was some really bad Batman movies, to be fair. The Schumacher Batman movies. Yeah. Batman and Robin, Batman Forever. Those are two bad movies. But
I mean, it's a guilty pleasure movie for me because I just love cringy movies sometimes.
But I love that relationship with Tim Burton. I almost wish Tim Burton was directing The Flash.
Yeah.
That Michael Keaton's coming back to, because that's the reason that Michael Keaton didn't come back for a third Batman, is because there was no Tim Burton, and he had developed that relationship with Tim Burton in Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice
is so good.
That movie's so great.
All those practical effects and stop motion.
The practical effects are the best. Man. The thing is, like I said, I'm a 90s kid, but I did get a lot of 80s and 90s stuff into my upbringing.
Lexicon,
yeah, and I just love watching movies. I mean, the Night of the Living Dead, this and that, like Day of the Dead, that kind of stuff. The first time I watched Day of the Dead, the one on the ground, with the zombie that could talk, I was under a blanket.
I remember.
But that was also the first horror movie where I decided to come from underneath the blanket and just watch the movie.
I remember being little and my mom taking me to a double feature at the drive-in. You know what a drive-in movies is? Did you have those?
Yep.
Yeah.
I have a lot of American culture in my
Okay, so we had for you younger kids out there, drive-in movies is where you sit in your car and you can either listen to the audio on the movie or on the radio, or you had speakers that you hung on your window to hear the audio from the movie. And it was very echoey and it was unique. That's how I saw Batman 1989, right? But my family, my parents took me to a double feature, and I remember I was young. I was like maybe 5. It was before my parents got divorced, so maybe 5, 6. I remember this movie traumatizing me. Okay, so we go to see Three Men and a Little Lady, right? Three Men and a Little Lady, Tom Selleck, Ted Danson, great cast, great chemistry there, funny movie. Three Men and a Baby. I think it was Three Men and a Baby, not Three Men and a Little Lady.
Oh yeah,
Three Men and a Baby.
Yeah.
Great movie. I'm supposed to go to sleep in the back of my dad's pickup truck. It's summer. It's hot. You know, we got.
You're not going to sleep.
And he's got his pickup truck. And I'm supposed to lay back in the back of the pickup truck and go to sleep after the first movie. No. I stay up. Do you know what comes on after? Pet Sematary. Now, looking back at the original Pet Sematary now as an adult, it's kind of hokey. It's kind of funny. It doesn't hold up very well. But as a kid, that scene where the first of all, the cat. God damn that cat. Fuck that cat. All right.
Fuck that cat.
But then the flashback scene where you see them taking care of the girl and the mom having to tell her story where she's taking care of her sister, and her sister's all deformed and fucking shit, and they got her like up in the attic and she doesn't get out, and she's all like, that was traumatizing, guys, as a kid. All right. Oh my God. You have no idea. But
the stuff that I've seen that traumatized me.
I love horror movies. Like
the first time I saw Evil Dead.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't know which movie it was. I was just flicking through channels. I was young, and I saw this movie with the guy floating in the air. And I'm like,
I saw
what
Evil
the fuck
Dead.
did I just watch?
I saw Evil Dead 2 before I saw Evil Dead 1. And I can remember, am I supposed to be laughing at this? Is this supposed to be, what the fuck is going, this is hilarious.
That was my brain as well when I watched the second one.
Like, it's creepy and it's scary, and I don't want to, it's gory, but it's also horrifically funny. Like his hand running in through the little mouse holes and flipping him off, and oh my God. And then the funny like faces that Bruce Campbell is making. I love Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell, please stay awesome forever.
Campbell is great.
But
even now it still works.
Yeah.
Like with the series, I loved this series.
The physical comedy when the lights start filling up with blood and the walls start bleeding and you hear all the noises coming around and he's just looking around with his eyes like and the physical comedy in that, like he's terrified and he's conveying it so well that it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, classic. Like
the thing that I had with Bruce Campbell is also that he likes being an actor, but he's like, I don't really care for all the fame.
Yeah,
he's one of those. Oh, I'll just do a B movie.
Yeah,
don't care. B series.
But
but then when he does it, he makes it a very good movie.
But his fame is out there, like the show Burn Notice.
I still have to watch that.
You cannot do Burn Notice without Bruce Campbell. You know what I'm saying? So
I've seen an episode of that, and he was great. I still have to watch that Elvis movie with him in it. Keep forgetting it. Like Big Bubba Bubbly 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 Bubba Bubba or something. Big
Chad,
Bubba J or something.
is it Chad? Chidba? Chidba? How you doing? Hope you're doing good.
Hello.
We're just talking movies and all sorts
we
of
started politics and it all went like movies.
well, it's okay. That's why I love talking to you, because we have so much in common that we like and we enjoy, and that's why I think you're a great guest.
I was so sad when Bruce Campbell actually announced that he would never play Ash again, that he was retiring from the character, and then a week ago, I got the message: Evil Dead Rise. A new movie directed not by Sam Raimi, but Sam Raimi will be a producer.
Yeah.
So
what did you think of the Evil Dead remake movie?
The Evil Dead remake movie, it was a good movie.
Yeah.
I didn't really think it was Evil Dead though. It was a very good movie, very gory, very Sam Raimi.
Right.
But I don't know. It's a good movie, but it's not Evil Dead for me.
Right.
I mean, Evil Dead is Bruce Campbell, chainsaw hand, shotgun.
Yeah, what was it that she was using instead of a chainsaw? It was like a little electric, little weed cutter thing, I don't know. Yeah.
I'm like, no. You need to have the epic montage scene where he makes the thing for his hand.
Where's the moose's head that moves because it's possessed?
Oh, great. Just looking at him. Like I said, as a kid, that scared the living fuck out of me when they moved like that.
Yeah,
like you're like, holy shit.
Do you find that creepy?
I just laughed my tits off at these movies. Army of Darkness, when I saw that.
Oh my god! No, it was intentionally just flat out comedy.
Yeah. But that's the same with when the series got announced, Ash vs. Evil Dead. I loved it. I drank every minute, and that they put Cena, the Warrior Princess, in it too. Yeah, I know that is so great because they have a lot of comics where they cross over with each other as well.
Well, he was because he was in Xena.
He was in Xena. He was like the thief, right?
Yeah.
They have a very good relation with each other. They're good
he
friends.
played a part in Xena Warrior Princess on TV, where he was a thief, and so getting her to play in the Evil Dead, that's.
Yeah, I don't know, Bruce Campbell. Oh, that's a guy that I would probably love to have a pint with or something. That guy is so suave.
Well, he is. I don't know if I want to meet him because he seems like he's a very private person. He likes his private space.
I would probably not even do it. Like I said, hi, sorry, man. Sorry for bothering you.
But he doesn't like the fame stuff. He's kind of like William Shatner in that way. Like William Shatner loved being an actor, didn't want to do any of the conventions. You know what I mean? Like it's not for me.
That's fair enough. I mean, George Takei does everything, anyways.
Right. It's true.
Oh my.
But yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, William Shatner was the same way. There's a lot of actors like that they love the acting, but then
I've had the honor to meet Billy D. Williams.
Oh, nice.
But I think he was a little grumpy.
A little grumpy.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's like, I mean, I was at a convention and I was like, "It's an honor to meet you, sir." And I just wanted my autograph and got the fuck out of there because I was gonna die. I don't know how to talk to celebrities.
Right. I've had a few brushes with fame that I just try to treat them like anybody else would, casual.
Oh yeah, but that's what I do as well. It's like, I mean, it's just an honor to meet someone that has made one of your favorite movies. And I mean, I would just talk normally, even if you were the queen, I wouldn't give a shit. Basically, right. I would just talk to you as a normal person.
What do you think about actors that are phoning it in? Bruce Willis is a great example. Used to be one of the best action stars, in my opinion, with Die Hard, Last Boy Scout, The original Die Hard trilogy.
With Sixth Sense and everything.
Yeah. But
he
now,
used to do a lot of serious movies, and now he's like starting to do more comedy movies.
Well, he did some comedy back in the day too. Like Hudson Hawk is hilarious. Blind Date, again, Bruce Willis, early Bruce Willis. Death Becomes Her. Those are funny movies. Moonlighting was a great series, but these days he's phoning it in. Like it's like he doesn't want to be there. You know, you get that
in a way,
vibe from him.
He doesn't want to do movies anymore.
Yeah, but he's cashing it in for that paycheck. You know, even if it's going direct to video. Like, I'm going to be in this movie, and I'm going to be me, and it just seems like
I get what you mean. I have had that with some of the actors as well.
Yeah,
it's like also with Eddie Murphy, for example. You don't see him that often, and when he does, he makes one movie every now and then.
Yeah.
I mean, with Moranis, I got it why he quit. You know.
Right, Rick Moranis.
Yeah, because his wife died, and he wanted to take care of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Very responsible decision.
Very respectable.
He was a good actor too. He is a good actor. He's still with us.
But even when he was acting, he wanted to be there. I'm just talking about these actors like Harrison Ford. When he's in a movie these days, I feel like he doesn't want to be in the movie.
Yeah.
Like he's, I showed up, kid. You know, like.
Yeah, he basically is Han Solo at that point.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. It's like all the big actors when they go into, but when you see actors like Ryan Reynolds,
their passion's not in it no more. Ryan Reynolds,
the passion is in it.
Yeah, and it's amazing. Yeah,
I love his movies. The Bodyguard with the piece in Amsterdam.
But even like the movies that we gave him grief about for being crap, I liked Green Lantern. Sorry, yeah. I did.
I just disliked his suit, but the movie was okay.
It was okay. I liked Ryan Reynolds in the role. It's not. I didn't like the CGI, but I liked the movie. The movie's, it was. But man, him being able to poke fun of himself. I mean, Ryan Reynolds. When he was in that movie, he cared about being in that movie, and
you can
tell it. Yeah.
I mean, he even acted like I forgot his name. Because that Green Lantern he's portraying actually is very funny and makes jokes the whole time.
Hal Jordan,
thank you. I keep forgetting the names, man. It's been a while.
It's okay. It's all right. Hal Jordan hasn't been the main Green Lantern in a long time. You've had Jon Stewart. You've had what's the
Jay
Ions?
Garrick. Oh no, wait, Jay Garrick is the Flash.
Right. No, Ions.
The one before him that became the White Lantern.
Oh. I thought the one that became the White Lantern was Hal Jordan.
That's later. There was one before him.
Oh, okay.
Oh god damn it! No, I don't want the movie. There's one Green Lantern. Alan Scott, Hal Jordan, Guy Gardner, Jon Stewart, Kyle Rayner, Jade Sinestro, and all those guys. Jessica Cruz now, and Simon Baz.
Yeah.
Those are the two main Green Lanterns of Earth now.
Yeah.
And I mean, I love DC Universe. I love Marvel is also part of my upbringing.
You fall more on DC than you do on Marvel, though, right?
Yes, because I know more of that.
I think I fall the other way around. I've always been more.
I mean, everybody to their own. It's like I'm. The thing is with Marvel and DC is like I want to read everything at that point.
Right. No, I get you.
The money, the moolah.
Right.
You don't have that for all the comics because they're like $4, $5, $6, and it's just a book with 10 pages or 30 pages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I was spoiled. My parents bought me anything I asked for, pretty much. He wants comics? Well, it'll get him to read. Get him to comics. Yeah. If he wants comics, at least he'll be reading.
I never got the denounce culture of the freaking comics. It's like everybody every so many years they have to bitch about something in the world.
I don't think it exists anymore. I think comics are way more mainstream, or at least the
Oh,
characters
they're
are
mainstream.
nowadays. They're definitely mainstream now.
We had people from all walks of life
But
coming in,
yeah,
military soldiers, and like, oh yeah, I'm on this is cool, man, Superman, blah blah
I think
blah.
that was more of a thing in the 60s and 70s. Like, don't waste your time with this. Like, it's funny papers. Like, it's people didn't take it seriously. But then, you know, you had that generation that grew up reading the comics in the 60s and 70s behind their mom's backs that was like, I get it, it's cool. And then they let their kids in the 80s do it and in the 90s do it. And now those kids are adults and it's just mainstream as shit now. So I think that's how it worked. There was a period in time, and it was before I was born, where if you read a comic book, it was like your parents thought you were wasting your time. Kind of like video games. Video games is going through that same progression. Like, it was a kid's thing, and it's a time waster. But the people who grew up with video games are now presenting newer, complex stories and all these like artistic vision going into the video games, and it's becoming more and more mainstream. I think video games now holds the financial income of like movies, music, and books combined. Like crazy.
Well, the thing is with games, they're basically playable books, playable movies, playable this, and that's why I think it kind of exploded around the PlayStation 1 era. But because at that time in PlayStation 1 and such, it was still frowned upon if you were gaming. At least for my feelings. Like I said, like I play my video games, and they're like, oh, you should go do sports outside or play outside. And I'm like, no.
Luckily, when I was in the PlayStation, there was a few games that I only cared about in PlayStation 1 era. Like, I played a lot of Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8, and Metal Gear Solid. Outside of that,
8 and 9.
Yeah.
With 9 being my favorite.
I played 9 later. Played 9
yeah,
later.
but that was because it was like in 2000, 1999.
Yeah. It releases around the same time I got my PS2. And to be honest, when I got my PS2, I was out of the house. Like, I was moved off on my own, so I didn't care what anybody thought. And so
I think my parents blamed me for destroying one television.
Oh, really?
It wasn't even my fault. I was just playing my Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
I see you said my comics were X-Men and Superman. Dude, I loved X-Men. See, but you gotta think, at the time I grew up, it was an odd time. Chris Claremont was doing X-Men, and it was really like X-Men was on the rise, so much so that there was so many books. You had X-Men, you had X-Men, you had X-Men 2099, you had X-Force, X-Factor, Excalibur. There were so many X books. Wolverine got a solo series, yada yada, like.
Mm-hmm.
And I ate it up, but it also caused the comic book crash in the 90s. So while I loved Claremont's run on X-Men, and I thought he did some ingenious stuff, a lot of it got overlooked, and like I said, led to the comic book crash. And I miss Chris Claremont's writing on X-Men. It was a beautiful thing.
I mean, there's a lot of good writers, but sometimes when there's a good writer, they get a shitty illustrator.
Right?
And like with the Green Martian, I love the Green Martian, the Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
All of a freaking sudden, they get this weird ass cartoony looking comic that I'm sitting there like heads like freaking Michelangelo's and everything, and I'm like, nah.
Yeah, in the there was this one X-Men. It's X-Men, and I always liked the way Beast looked during the Claremont days. You know what I'm saying? And when they were trying to reboot or trying to get the X-Men, after Xavier's death, and they're trying to get Emmett Frost in the thing, and they're redoing and bringing back the X-books in this big fashion. Beast looks like a cat now, and like he doesn't look right, and I'm like, no, like.
Lobo. They did the same with Lobo in DC. He's a big guy, right? Big guy, methodic biker dude. In one of the comics later on, I believe in the 90s or so, they made him scrawny looking.
Yeah.
And like, oh, look, I'm cool, suave dude. I'm like, nah, no, that's not Lobo. But have you noticed as well, like, you grew up with the same kind of cartoons like I did, right? Like with Dungeons and Dragons and what's it called? The one with the Raiders and there's the Flintstones and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I like that art more than today's art in cartoons. Have you seen how ugly that stuff is?
I kind of didn't fall into the Hanna-Barbera. Like, I didn't do a whole lot of Scooby-Doo. Like, I knew Scooby-Doo was okay. Flintstones were okay. Smurfs were, I didn't really care about Smurfs.
Yeah, me neither.
But I was more into the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, G.I. Joe, the Transformers,
the adult-looking thing,
the Jason the Wheel Warriors, Silverhawks, Thundercats, Voltron. I was more into that camp when it came to my cartoons, and so like, and I had just I kind of missed the Ninja Turtles thing, like.
Yeah, that was 90s, I believe.
Yeah. So like, I still watch Ninja Turtles, but I was kind of on my way out of the cartoon thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
but it was also that time where you still got frowned upon when you watched cartoons when you were a teen.
Yeah.
And I just never gave a shit because nobody could see me watch cartoons, So I watched Pokemon. I grew up with that kind of stuff. I grew up with Spy Dogs. Like my interests switched because I first had Fox Kids, but that went away. Then it became Jetix, I believe. And nowadays it's Disney XD or something.
And then for a while,
then I went
really
to Nickelodeon.
When I got out of my my cartoon phase, I think I went. Nickelodeon was badass. I'm not gonna lie, but
Keenan and Kel.
Salute Your Shorts, Clarice Explains It All, Pete and Pete, man, those shows, those three shows.
I mean, but nowadays everything is real shows, or there isn't, or the art just sucks. I mean, Gumball's Amazing World. The series is fun.
I watched the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe reboot, the 2000s one. Loved it, right? Ate it up. Mm-hmm. This She-Ra on Netflix.
I know what you mean, that art.
Like, Teen Titans? What's going on with the Teen Titans?
Apparently, I'm your twin. Goat. Teen Titans, yeah, but that's the thing. That Teen Titans that you see with the weird animation, I get that. That's for kids. But if you look at like stuff like
but that's not represented in the comics. Like, Teen Titans in the comics is just as gritty as fucking Batman. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you have Titans where they're older, and you have Teen Titans where
yeah.
Like, I was
and what's up, Goat? How you doing?
Pretty impressed with what's it called? Young Justice, Justice League, the Batman animated series, Superman animated series. Those were so good, and the animated movies are so. Right. But then when they released the kid stuff, I just can't watch it. It's the same with after the Clone Wars, they released one more season of Clone Wars. I'm so happy with that, but then looking at Resistance, it's shell shaded. It doesn't look like. I don't know. I don't like it.
No, I get it. No, I absolutely get it. Like, back in the day, they used to have what's called stock animation. And so, like, if they did a routine over and over again, or they showed a scene, they reused certain animations over and over again. But it was still hand drawn. It was still hand drawn. Master Filmation did a lot of that, but it was still hand drawn, and that's why they did it, was because they had to crank out so many episodes and within a short period of time. But then you had shows that released once a week, like Batman, the animated series, that had more time, so they didn't have to use stock animation, and they gave them, so much time to make a better produced show or whatever. But in order to cut time, they use this, like, it's not hand drawn anymore. It's like this cell shaded, like, you're right. It doesn't look as good as the hand drawn stuff from.
But then Clone Wars does look very good because it has its own animated style. But then when they go to Resistance, it just feels like, oh, we got to put something in to hook these to give them more information about the new movies that we're bringing out. Like they're just binging, they're just milking, and the story isn't even that good. I mean, I'd rather watch Rebels, which is an okay series made by I think Dave Filoni was there as well, and I hope Dave Filoni does a lot of stuff for the Obi-Wan series because he's a great Star Wars story writer, or at least a producer. Damn, I love most of his episodes.
Yeah,
I mean, animation is fine.
Animation has changed.
Cheap looking.
Yeah, it's just not the
stuff we grew up with.
It's not only that. I don't think they hold it to the same standard as what we grew up with. I mean,
there's also a lot of restrictions nowadays. Like,
yeah,
if we watch like Flintstones, bonk on the head, kick in the nuts, that kind of stuff, right? Or Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Violence. Did it make me violent?
No.
I laughed at it though.
That's one thing that kills me too. Like the Looney Tunes. Like, kids are smarter than you give them credit for, man. They're able to perceive what's fake and what's real life, right? Like,
yeah.
And you can have that intelligent conversations with kids about what's real and what's make believe. And
it's just stupid how people that actually don't have kids, they basically go and assume something. Oh, there's a shooting here. Oh, that's probably because he played this video game. Or, oh, it's probably because he watched a violent movie or violent movies during his childhood.
See, I've always looked at that stuff like, it's not the art that's making the kid a certain way. I think it's the parenting. Like, if your kid's not able to distinguish between reality and make-believe, then maybe your kid shouldn't be indulging in this certain level of content.
I also think it really depends on your psychological profile.
Yeah.
Sort of. Like, I can perceive, as a young kid, I already perceived a lot of adult things. Because my parents were very open, and they were like, "Yeah, if you want to do that," and they were like,
"This is what goes into this."
Decide for you, but you can. If you decide to smoke one day, we'll be very disappointed. But and that kind of stuff. And even when I turned 13 or something, I asked for booze, and I took one sip, and I'd never drunk again after that, until way later. But my parents have always let me do my own thing at my own pace, and I grew up. My parents, they've despised me playing GTA 3, GTA 1 even, and 2. They were like, "Oh, you're just driving over civilians, or using a katana to chop off his head."
Right.
And I'm like, "Ma, it's just a game. I would never do this in real life. I'd rather kill someone in game than in real life."
There were some things that I set an age limit on. Like, the kids weren't allowed to get phones until they were teenagers.
Here's the joke: why I wouldn't give my kids a phone until much later, because I know what I do on phones. at
Right.
that age, you know.
And even
'Cause
now
you go on
that they
the
have
internet,
their phones, they have restrictions like I get to see your history. I get to see what you're
yeah,
looking at on your phone. If I ask for your phone, you better give it to
that's
me
where I
or we're
would be as
turning it
well.
off.
I would be a strict dad, but I would probably be very open about some things. Like,
And
I-
I
if
explained
I
to
have,
them that what you do on the internet is not a secret. Like
yeah,
Google knows you, or
yep,
these brands they're watching what you're doing, and Facebook is watching what you're posting, what you're doing, so that they can advertise to you. And I'm very
hmm
open with my kids about that stuff, and I'm like, so be careful what you put
yeah.
on the internet.
This is also a big reason why I'm off Facebook, because I just don't want to always be like, oh, I'm talking about my cats, cat food advertisement. I'm like, yeah, go fuck yourself.
Right,
I just don't like it when I just think something is too convenient,
right.
or
No, I get it.
it's like I like my privacy a little bit, but as a streamer you don't really have privacy.
Right. In Europe, though,
Privacy law.
you have privacy law. You own your digital information.
Yep.
In America,
Basically,
we
you can also not search people up. Like if we do a reverse image search, like the catfish people do in your country, for example,
right.
uh, they don't show up. You can also not search up names anymore.
Wow.
But people can still do it, but then they're fucking assholes.
Yeah. Yeah. In
And then,
America, we don't own our digital information, and that's very frustrating. There is no opt out. There's you use a service or something, and that is super frustrating. Like
yeah, I get
I
it.
think if I opt in for my digital service, this company should pay me for them selling to me. You know what I'm saying? Like
Well, if they're using my information, I would like to get paid for that.
I want to be compensated for that. Exactly.
I mean, even if it's 10 cents, just give me something, you
Yeah.
know? It's like you're using my information to get your own database better. Am I not working for you right now?
Yeah. Is that information not? Is it not an investment? Yeah. I
Yeah.
totally understand that, and I want to advocate for that, like the right to own your digital information in America.
Do your thing. I mean, it would be a great thing. I think a lot of Americans would be the same thing, because I know a lot of Americans are very private about their things. Uh,
But
I
how
mean, I'm
private can
very.
you be too? Because like
You
I
can't be
don't.
private. Come on, man.
I,
Your freaking phone is listening to you. Your freaking computer is
exactly.
listening to you. Everything is listening to you. I mean, your smart TV is listening to you. Come on.
Yeah. So I don't think actual privacy is a thing anymore. But I still think that you should be able to own your digital information and choose whether they can use that or not. I think we should have that
I think
right.
that's a very good statement, and that should be enforced in America as well. 'Cause like Europe, we have those rules now that we have to say, even with cookies and everything, we have to click on if you want them. I'm mostly like, I don't give a shit. You're following me anyways.
Right.
But on the thing of, like, I don't know, man. It's a very good luck with that. Yeah, I know, right?
Right. So good luck with that. Well, like I said, in Europe,
It
they have
works.
Digital Privacy Act.
Yeah, and if they sell your information and you find out, you can
Sue them
complain
for
about it.
big,
Yep. Well,
big,
suing
big
is a
money.
very weird thing in Europe.
Really?
Suing is easier in America. Let's just say it like that.
But are there not civil cases?
There are,
So, like,
but
if enough
it's
people
very
are being
weird how that works
exposed,
here.
okay,
It costs you a lot of money. Let's just say it like that.
it costs a lot of money here.
And it takes a long ass time for you to win.
Yeah, I get that.
weird. It's like we don't have like a civil judge system. Like we
I
don't
think
have a civilian judge group.
I think that's everywhere too. Like the process of law moves in some ways too slow.
Hey, Roger.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's the thing. They got so many cases on one day, and I get that. It takes a while, but sometimes
Well, that and everybody when making a decision is deadlocked. So like this side's wanting this side's wanting this, and nobody's agreeing on anything, so they can't move further than where they're at, and they're just deadlocked. And
Yep.
oh man,
that's most of the time how it goes. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Civil cases are weird. I mean, I like Google had to pay a lot of money when they were selling privacy stuff, but that
Yeah.
wasn't even you suing them. That was basically the state going like, hey, we got some complaints here. You're gonna
right.
pay us some money.
And then they divvy that out to everybody, right? Like
No,
no,
no.
it goes
Yeah,
straight
because
into the state.
the state is gonna use it for their taxes. Whatever. And then we still have to pay the same amount of taxes because our country just sucks.
So
Taxes.
civil cases work differently here. If a group of people, the group of people who bring forth the civil case,
Yeah, it should
and
be
everybody
divvied
that
out.
adds on, it's divvied out among the
Yeah, it
individuals.
should be, but mostly because it's the state getting the complaints. They do the suing.
Leisure man, I don't want to keep you up too late. I appreciate you coming on and sharing life with me.
Almost 3 hours, man.
Yeah. I love it. This is my new thing on Friday nights.
If you ever want me to come back, say so, man.
I'm definitely going to have you back because I love talking to you, but I do want to give other creators that
I'm just saying I'm always open to
spread
do this,
the love around and talk to as many people as I can. Last week I talked to Hershey and Kiwi Pie, and it was a lot of fun.
There was a lot of political talk there too. I rewatched a little bit.
Yeah, well, I feel like as long as I know where the line is, and
Yeah.
everybody's presenting their ideas, while everybody else is like, if I'm presenting an idea, listen, and then I'm going to give you that opportunity to give your idea, and I'm not going to interrupt you or interject. I'm going to listen and let you get it all out, and then maybe we have a back and forth, but it's friendly. We still love each other at the end of the day, and that's the way it should be. I think
I said it before. As long as everything is civil and it is not getting violent, you have my ears.
Right. Yeah, I think civil discourse is good, and I don't think there's too much name calling, and there's too much. If you don't agree with me, you're this, or throw out random label here.
And that's when people stop listening.
And exactly. And then the conversation is stifled. And
I think a lot of the words that people use has also lost their meaning nowadays.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a Nazi. Oh, you're a communist. Oh, you're a this. Or you're that. You're a bigot. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, but what is this? Do you know what that means?
Yeah.
No, I don't. I'm like, then don't say it if you don't know what it means.
And I think it's hard to progress and move on to the solution or find a solution if you're not willing to have the conversations. And if you're stuck in your own echo chamber and you're never having your ideas challenged, you're not growing as a person.
And I agree with that.
So
I'm not really stuck in my echo chamber. I'm just stuck in my room. But
you know what I meant. Like, if you only listen to people that agree with you, you know, if you agree with me all the time. I heard this today. I heard a man named Howard and Hilton Hill say this today. He said, if you're always agreeing with me and you never disagree with me, then there's only one of us doing the thinking.
it's basically what I have with my best friend. We always have this running joke. I make a lot of Nazi jokes. He makes a lot of communist jokes. And we kind of go against each other, but we're always good friends. It's always in good fun. And
Right.
that's basically, it's like, it's jokes. Not really meant that way,
Right.
but it's always like us just going against each other, and then everybody's like, it's fun. But it's like we don't hate each other. We're good friends.
You have to accept the loss of privacy if you want a cyberpunk type of world.
I don't want a cyberpunk world. I want a chip in my neck. I will never allow that either. You can wrestle
I
me
don't
down.
want
if you
that
want.
world. I just want to play in that world.
Yeah. I don't want to be a dystopian future. Bah. I like Fallout, but I don't
Nobody
want to live in
actually
that.
wants to. Nobody actually wants to be Nathan Drake, right?
I
Like,
didn't ask for this.
you just want to visit for a minute.
You gotta go like, hello. Howdy. I'm just visiting. Bye.
Nobody wants to be Solid Snake. They just want to pretend for a little while.
Well, the thing is, there's good people like that are there. Let's just say it like that.
Yeah.
So that we don't have to.
So, but guys, I am going to wrap up. Hey, if you missed it earlier, the merch store link is up on the Twitch page, or you can go to stando.live/merch. We have t-shirts, hoodies, tank tops, and stickers. So make sure you check those out.